Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Wrestling One Down episode 209. I'm Owen the Birdman Finch, and I'm here with
James the Heat Man Hebert, and
this. This was a good. That was a good intro. Let's just talk about that. That was the best. We always fuck up the intro. We finally got a good. And you know what? I think we can't go. I feel like we have. Let's just make the announcement now. We're gonna make the announcement. I was gonna do pause and all that, but we're gonna make the announcement now. There's no way. We can't come back now and stuff. Like, I'm gonna make the announcement now. So pretty much we realize what we're doing with the rundown once a week isn't working because this is like the third time we've had to like clump all these reviews together, and it's just not working for anybody. So instead we're gonna do Aftershock Corner extras where I'll just review like a pay-per-view or something, and this will be good because if no one can do it, I can at least do it by myself. So that way. When
yours truly will edit some intros and send them his way as well.
Yeah.
So, because we're coming back to full edits too. We should probably include that in the fucking announcement.
Yeah.
So we're coming back to full edits and we're actually gonna like do retros and fantasies and everything is gonna be once a month, which means you will get weekly content. It's just not gonna be run down weekly.
But, we definitely can't come back now because we should end it off on a high note because we finally did a good intro. I think it only took us, 6 years of doing this show.
It's almost like if you be normal, you could do a good intro.
Yeah. Maybe I got to be just normal. If you want to know the topics of what we're talking about, it's going to be pinned in the comments and in the descriptions, and you can just click the timestamps and it'll take you right to that topic. That's if I don't screw up, because sometimes I screw it up because I'm still kind of new to it, so I do screw it up sometimes, but I do fix it later. Just sometimes it gets fucked up, so just gonna have to deal with it. Let's talk about.
We'll say it's YouTube's fault.
Yeah,
it'll be fine.
Why don't we talk about our first topic? Pause. All right, so we're gonna start with him.
I have not watched Under Siege either. I have not watched Under Siege either. By the way.
Okay, I'll just do a quick run through of it. So we're gonna start with the Impact talk. I think James and I may have a debate. Hopefully, it doesn't lead to fists because then I would break my screen. Because I don't think we're enjoying Impact the same. I am. I'm not as much as I was maybe a month ago, but I still enjoy it for the most part. He does have some critiques.
Okay. Critiques. There's a couple of critiques on this week's show is actually pretty decent. Actually, very good. It was very good. With the exception of two things that I just don't like. I'm just glad we're not getting Swingers Palace anymore. I don't know why that's not coming on, but that's a welcome fucking ixnay to the format.
Now let's say this first.
Fuck Johnny Swinger. He's fucking fringe.
I do want to say this first though. If it's COVID. I mean, I don't want to speculate because I know that leads to people getting mad. But if it's COVID related,
it's not COVID.
Okay,
it's not COVID. I'm gonna tell you this right now. Fuck that goddamn excuse. You can't get away with that anymore. There is enough people vaccinated in Tennessee, especially, that there is no fucking reason why you can't have a full crowd right now.
Yeah,
it should not be taking till Slammiversary to get people into that fucking rec center. Jesus Christ. Give me a break. And for anybody that's going to give me the bullshit pandemic excuse, Exhibit A, CVS. It exists in Tennessee, folks.
Yep.
Sue me.
I mean, AEW just recently had a full house, and I think it went off. I don't think anything went wrong. I mean, I haven't seen any news or anything.
Not a single thing went wrong. This is why I say I don't give a fuck what anybody wants to fucking say, because, you can't trust every human being. So have people provide documentation that they have been properly vaccinated and allow those people into the fucking building. It's that simple.
Yep. I feel like that. Yeah. I don't know what's going on there.
It's infuriatingly stupid. There's no point in having an empty arena show when you don't have to have it anymore.
Yep. So I'll quickly run through Impact Wrestling Under Siege. So I did see it. The commentary team was D'Lo Brown and Matt Stryker. I think this was one of Matt Stryker's last shows that he's commentated for a while. I don't know where he's been. They said he's on assignment, but I don't know if they just said that one week because they said
calling,
that.
You know what it is? He's probably calling AAA for the English side.
But I'm not sure what happened though, because they said that one week and they haven't brought him up since. It's like he disappeared, so I hope that he didn't leave the company because I don't mind Josh Matthews, but him and Matt Stryker and D'Lo Brown just have such better chemistry than Matthews and
D'Lo Brown suffers without Matt Stryker. That's become crystal clear.
Yeah.
It's obvious. Like with D'Lo Brown, Matt Stryker could get the best out of him, and that was even more evident when you had Morrow on the team for that one match.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which, by the way, that's probably the one thing I did watch it via Under Siege because of Morrow and Kenny. But
that was Sacrifice.
Fuck. See, well then I definitely didn't watch Under Siege. But yeah, no, fucking those two or those three rather would probably be the best commentary team. Josh Matthews ain't it, bro.
Yeah.
I personally think Josh Matthews is better served as a fucking manager. If I'm hiring Josh Matthews, he's the perfect mouthpiece for somebody. And I'm not bullshitting. That's me being 100% factual. He is the best mouthpiece you could possibly get.
He does do
for
fairly
somebody
well.
that can't speak.
He does do fairly well as like one of the hosts on BTI too. He does do fairly well on there.
He does all right, yeah, when it comes to the backstage stuff. But I think his best asset is being a manager. Yeah. I never thought he should have ever been a commentator, especially that short stint that he had when TNA was fucking GFW. You remember those times? Fucking Josh Matthews was the goddamn highlight of that show. And I'm not fucking kidding. You think I'm kidding, I'm not. Like, he had some of the best segments on Impact, and I don't even know how long.
Yeah.
It was like, he took the Michael Cole heel thing, right? And he basically flipped it on its head, and it was way more fucking believable. Mm-hmm. Like, everything that he said was more believable. He quit commentary the first week when he fucking went for the heel run, pretty much. It wasn't on the booth that much. He talked his ass off. He really talked people into booing him. Like, they booed the shit out of the guy. They wanted to see him get his ass kicked bad.
And if you remember, him and Scott Steiner's match with Jeremy Boaz and Joseph Parks, like I think the best match on Slammiversary that year.
Probably. I mean, there really wasn't that many good things about Slammiversary. I mean, considering the fact that they were still promoting El Patron as the face of the promotion when they probably shouldn't have.
That hadn't happened yet. If the situation.
Oh yeah, that's right. Bound for Glory. Right. Still, highly recommend watch any of Josh Matthews' heel promos. Like, he's fucking great. Like, I honest to God I don't know why he's a commentator. I don't even know why he's an interviewer. Not that he's a bad interviewer, but he's a better manager, dude. He's a better mouthpiece for somebody.
Yep.
Anyway, sorry, tangent.
So yeah, I went through this show. The cold open's always good. I don't remember it as much this time just because it's been a bit since I've seen the show. Brian Myers faced Black Taurus with Crazy Steve and Rosemary Winside. This match was good because it's Brian Myers and Black Taurus. Basically, they set this up because they targeted Brian Myers because he didn't think it was fair that he wasn't in the six-way match to become number one contenders, but Matt Cardona was. And I think they needed something for Brian Myers to do, since Matt Cardona was doing that. So Black Taurus, I thought, was a fine replacement. He, laid him out backstage. And the match that they had was actually good. I really enjoyed it. Brian Myers won with the roster cut, which is fine. And I gave it 3 stars. I thought it was a good opening match.
My opinion, I would have fucking had Black Taurus go over.
I was gonna
what
say
are they
that.
actually doing with Brian Myers at this point? Give me a break.
I will say this. They need to protect. Black Taurus should be winning a lot more than he is. He's losing way too much. way too much.
I mean, yeah, I agree with that. Although, who was it that he fought and lost to? Oh yeah, TJP, right?
Yeah,
made no fucking sense.
Yeah,
Like at all. Why is he losing to people like TJP
yeah,
and fucking like he's Black Taurus?
yeah.
Dude's a fucking brick shithouse. He looks like he can kill you with his antlers. Why is he losing?
Yeah, I don't know. Continuing though, Taylor Wilde and Tenille Dashwood with Caleb with a K faced Kimberly and Susan. They asked for this match because they had issues with Taylor Wilde and Tenille Dashwood. We didn't need this match. This was just an Impact match on a pay-per-view that I didn't care about at all. And obviously, I don't care about anything that Kimberly and Susan
By the way,
do,
so much for that. Yeah, so much for that Taylor Wilde return, huh?
What happened with that? She just disappeared one day.
She was there, and then she gone.
Yeah. They won, but guess what? It doesn't matter anymore because, like you said, she gone. As a 2-star match.
She gone. It's fucking Impact. I've said this before. I will say it 100 times until I'm blue in the face. AEW needs to purchase Impact for them to have any chance of surviving in the next 5 years.
Yep.
Because if they don't purchase them, they're fucked.
I mean,
they're fucked, dude.
I have seen things online. Some people don't want that to happen because then it's like one less place for people to go.
It's not one less place because all it is would be another brand for AEW. It's still Impact.
Yeah.
Just under 3 different initials. It's another place for people to go. And by the way, it's its own company. What company?
Fail.
Dude, it's already run by fucking New Japan and AEW talent as it is. Seriously.
Yep.
It's bad. This isn't good. It's bad. Like, how many people have come in and have gone now since we've started watching Impact? ODB, Jazz, Taylor Wilde, fucking Matt Stryker probably would be one of them. I hope not, but
yeah.
I'm starting to think he's one of them. Like, it's not good.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's a problem. They can't even keep their own talent. Remember fucking even before the pandemic, we've had fucking problems with when they were trying to fucking re-sign Killer Cross.
Yep.
And that's why he said fuck that and went to NXT and breached his contract.
And then they lost Tessa Blanchard.
Tessa Blanchard, same fucking reason. Ethan Page, same thing.
Yep.
They couldn't fucking pay her. Or they couldn't fucking pay either one of them, as far as I know.
There's someone else that they've also lost. Who was it? I don't forget. I know they've lost somebody else. Well, I mean, even though he's there, they pretty much lost Eric Young because of injury. They can't use him.
I mean, Eric Young is still there. I mean,
yeah.
Come on.
But anyhow, let's talk.
He's managing.
I'll keep going through this show. We had a fatal 4-way tag team #1 contenders match where the winners were going to face Finn Juice on the next Impact for the Impact World Tag Team titles. It was Ace Austin and Madman Fulton versus TJP and Petey Williams versus Triple XL versus WYW and Sheila. This was set up on like the go-home week of Impact where they all just wanted to throw their name into the hat for the tag titles. I didn't actually hate the segment, but of course, it was in Swinner's Palace, so you can obviously tell I didn't like that. This match was very good. I thought everyone got their chance to shine in this match. I mean, my only critique about the match really is I just hate these triple tag matches where, like, they should just have each guy in the team as a representative all be in the win at once. None of this, just one person at a time type of crap. I know you don't like NXT anymore, but NXT is the only one that does this, where they actually follow that rule. And Survivor Series last year did it. Not last year, 2019 Survivor Series did it. But everyone got their chance to shine. I still thought it was very good. Ace Austin and Madman Fulton got the win, which I actually thought made sense. I wanted WYW and Sheila just because I'm a Heat Wazoo mug, but Ace Austin and Madman Fulton was fine. I thought this match was very good. I gave that 3 3/4 stars. Then we had W. Morrissey versus Willie Mack. This match was really a really good big man match. This really put over W. Morrissey huge. He destroyed Willie Mack throughout most of this match. Willie Mack got some hope spots in, but it was just really to showcase W. Morrissey. He ended up winning with the East River Crossing, but I'm really liking his gimmick right now. We can talk about him a little bit more when the Rich Swann feud happens, because that's where his gimmick really.
We know one person that's never coming back with them.
Yep.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that little nugget.
And then he continued to beat down on him, and eventually Rich Swann made the save, and this was the first time we had seen Rich Swann since he had lost to Kenny Omega. A lot of people are probably trashing the fact why he's not going for the world title. Remember, Scott D'Amore did say he doesn't get a rematch, so that's why he's not going for the world title right now. He said he agreed that he wasn't going to have a rematch. So, I think this is a fine follow-up for Rich Swann to be doing. It made sense for him to make the save, and I thought that really worked, and it led to I thought it led to a really good feud. Then we had Jordan Grace and Rachel Ellerman defending the tag titles against Fire and Flavor. Bad spot on the card. Feels like I say that a lot about the Knockouts division. They're always on the bad spots on the card when it comes to these pay-per-view matches.
Maybe because they don't have enough fucking women to do a tag division unless they combine both their roster, the AEW and the NWA women's roster. Just a thought!
What NWA women's roster?
Exactly!
But yeah, this match was pretty good, though. I still thought, right when I really started to get into it, it was over. So that wasn't fair. Fire and Flavor won the tag titles back, which I didn't understand at the time, but with what they're doing with Jordan Grace, I kind of understand now. So we have to wait.
I'll be honest with you. Fucking any women. I don't even care if it's NWA. It could be Mickey James and Camille for all I give a shit. Any fucking women from either the AEW or the MWA, please get these fucking belts off these women. They got go-away heat with me as heels.
Absolutely,
they really do. I cannot stand them. It's like nails on a chalkboard. Absolutely. I either have to fast forward or I have to mute.
Continuing. As I say, this was the match of the night, but it was the best match on the show up to this point. We had Josh Alexander defend the X Division title against El Phantasmo. This was a great match. You really got to go see this match. El Phantasmo won because I like how they're doing the New Japan partnership where they have guys take turns coming in. But that's probably pandemic, at least at the start that it has to be that way.
For now, yeah, because AEW is a part of part of this fucking talent trade too.
But I thought El Phantasmo made sense. Because I had just seen him not that long ago, face Leo Rush. So I actually was completely fine with him coming in.
By the way, we'll get to him.
Yeah.
I have something to say to that fucking prick.
Then El Phantasmo won either a fatal 5-way or a 6-pack challenge to earn the title shot. And he got this match. I thought at first it was too soon, but considering the fact that he hasn't been there since, they probably wanted to do the match. The sooner the better, which I was fine with. It was a great match. I liked how they protected El Phantasmo because you could make the argument he would have won the match if he wasn't too cocky about it, which is exactly what happened. He was much too cocky in the match, and it led to Josh Alexander winning. And I thought it was fine. It was a great match, great back and forth stuff, and he had such a good performance in the match. He didn't look bad for losing.
For him.
So it was a great match. Josh Alexander is really on a roll right now with these.
Josh Alexander's been having the fucking best matches ever. By the way, that Iron Man match we'll get to, I'm sure.
Yeah,
but
we will.
It was so good they had to fucking put the whole match on YouTube because people wanted to see it.
Then we had the again bad spot on the code. The Knockouts Championship match. Deonna Purrazzo defending against Havoc. Also, I'm not really a fan of Havoc's in-win work, so. That doesn't help this match.
It took, by the way, years, to figure out what to do with Havoc. They finally put her in a fucking proper place.
Yep.
In a fucking tag team with Rosemary that's called Decay.
Yep. Deonna Purrazzo made a tap out to the armbar. I forget the name of it. I think that was it. I think she won clean too. I'm pretty sure. I don't remember. Well, I guess Kimberly and Susan were there, but I think they got ejected.
Dude, this is. I'm gonna tell you right now. This is a far cry from that Iron Woman match they had like fucking what 6 months ago.
Well, I haven't seen it, so you would know. So.
I know Deonna Purrazzo versus Jordan Grace, I believe.
Yeah, I will say this though. It's time for Deonna Purrazzo to drop the belt soon. She's got to drop the belt at Slammiversary. Her title reign's starting to get very stale.
Obviously, it's going to Mickie James. I mean, that's fucking obvious.
Which I'm happy about. But this is a 2.25 star match.
I love how she's gonna fucking. You know what they're probably building towards? They're probably gonna give the belt to Camille and then have Mickie win the belt there and win the belt at Impact.
That would be great. Yeah. Well, no. What's probably gonna happen is Mickey's gonna win the Impact title first, and then at that all women's NWA show, she'll win the NWA belt.
Yeah, probably.
And then honestly, she could show up on Dynamite and win the women's belt there. She could be the new belt collector, honestly.
Fine with it.
Then Violent by... actually, no, that wasn't the next thing. So then we had Finn Juice and Eddie Edwards versus Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers. Obviously, all these feuds were continued because Kenny Omega, if you remember, took away Eddie Edwards' chance of being the 6-way, so it made sense for that he had issues with Kenny Omega. And this was a continuation of the Good Brothers and Finn Juice feud. I will say it's kind of weird that Kenny Omega doesn't want to come out with all the belts on Impact, but he's fine with it on Dynamite. Maybe because Dynamite gets more views than Impact. It's just very inconsistent.
No, he's inconsistent on Dynamite too. Like, you're the fucking champion. You have 4 championship belts. Fucking show them off.
Yeah. I mean, I thought even if he doesn't want to carry them all, like do what he did one week at Blood and Guts when MT Nakazawa was just carrying him.
When Ultimo Dragon was the belt collector back in his heyday, guess how many belts he had on him at all times on TV?
7.
All of them.
Yep. This match was great though. Obviously, it's because
ranty today.
Huh?
I'm very ranty today, I noticed.
Well, I don't know. Maybe you're just grumpy.
I don't know. I'm a grumpy boy.
Well, you also that's because too you can't really give any thoughts on this show because you haven't seen it. So maybe
True.
you have no, but
I'm not grumpy about this. I'm at this point. I'm sick of empty arena shows.
Yeah, but the 6-man tag team match was a great match. I really enjoyed that. Eddie Edwards and Finn Juice won. That's the only reason I don't agree with. I think the one team won. Especially since Eddie Edwards got the win and didn't get a title match out of it. But so that was just weird. Maybe he's gonna, but he's not even involved in that right now. So, but this was still a great match because it's Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers. So. And then Violent by Design said that they're going to bring Ruin to the company, which actually made sense because they did on Impact the next week. So, and then we had the main event. It was the 6-way Impact World Championship #1 contenders match. Chris Sabin versus Chris Bay versus Sami Callihan versus Matt Cardona versus Trey Miguel versus Moose. Everybody had to qualify to get in the match. We talked about how Moose, Cardona, and Sammy qualified, but Sabin qualified by beating Rhino. Bay qualified by beating Jake something. Trey Miguel qualified by beating Rohit Raju, and Moose qualified by beating James Storm.
And by the way, you mentioned the name Jake something. Where the fuck's he been?
Oh, he was on the last exclusive event.
Oh boy. Well, I didn't see him this week.
Oh yeah, because you don't watch BTI.
That's where he is now. BTI. It's almost like he probably should have just joined Violent by Design.
I know. I honestly think that every time he comes out.
Considering the fact that I don't know, they won the tag titles now. Why the fuck isn't he in this group?
Yep. Anyhow, though, this was a great match right here. I thought everybody shined in their own individual's way. Sami Callihan got to be the hardcore guy. Chris Bay was like the egotistical guy who tried to pick every moment he won. Moose was obviously the dominant monster, and everybody else was there. I mean, they did stuff too. I just can't think of what they did. Obviously, the finish. Well, Callahan was about to get the win, and the Good Brothers attacked him, laid him out, and prevented him from winning. And it allowed Moose to hit a no jackhammer needed spear, whatever it's called now, on Chris Sabin for the win, which made sense because obviously they're doing a match now with Slammiversary, and Moose also had taken out Chris Sabin's friend James Storm, so I thought that made all the sense in the world. I was actually shocked.
By the way, is Storm gone now? Is Storm gone from Impact?
I'm not sure because he did injure him. So, if he's not back by Slammiversary, I'm gonna assume he's gone. How many times has he been gone from Impact? It seems like he just comes and leaves all the time.
Because they probably can't fucking afford him for a long-term thing. That's why I say you need to have AEW buy them out at this point.
But yeah, Moose winning the match, like I said, I was surprised about because I thought they would save Moose for a bigger show. But I think what happened is there was reports that his deal was going to expire, so I wondered if they wanted to get the Omega Moose match out of the way just in case he wasn't going to resign. But considering where they did the match with Moose, I was all right with it too. If they had just done it on like Impact, like in the arena, I would have been kind of disappointed about it. But since they did it on Daly's place, I actually thought it was fine. And with where they're going with this, story-wise, Kenny Omega and Sami Callihan, I thought Moose was fine to, win the 6-way. I wanted to see Moose and Omega have a match, so I'm glad we got it. So overall, I thought the pay-per-view was pretty damn great. I don't know, it doesn't seem like it. But I still thought it was great. I thought we had a great X Division match, great 6-man tag, very good Fatal 4-way tag, and great main event. So I'm going to give it like a B+. Really no complaints about it. Well, except the stuff I complained about. I know I missed the Swinner's Palace segment, but I don't remember what it was, and I don't really care enough.
Who gives a shit?
It, so,
fuck Swinner's Palace, and I hope it stays gone.
So let's. I'll just go ahead now and review the next show. Pause. All right, so now I'm going to do a quick run through of Impact Wrestling Against All Odds from last week, actually.
By the way, why the fuck is Sammy teleporting?
Well, he's the hacker, so.
Yeah, but you can't just hack all of a sudden and then you teleport into the arena.
Well, I don't really, I kind of hold judgment because then, everyone's going to say, well, why can The Undertaker do this? So I try not to, I kind of overlook that when it comes to that.
Well, the difference is Undertaker's fucking superpowers made sense. Sammy, just because he can hack into fucking systems doesn't mean he can just teleport. Doesn't make sense. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it really doesn't. So, let's talk about Against All Odds. We have the commentary team of D'Lo Brown and Josh Matthews now. The cold open was awesome. And then we had the first match. It was a street fight. It was the Good Brothers versus Sami Callihan and Tommy Dreamer. So obviously Omega, Don Callis, and everybody is trying to do everything they can to prevent Omega from having to face Sami Callihan. Obviously Don Callis talked about Sami Callihan, as a loose cannon and all that type of stuff. And it actually makes sense that he would say that because now he's dealt with Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston in AEW, and I kind of like that he brings that up each time.
How much you want to bet they're going to do a fucking 6-way at All Out?
Yeah, I could see that.
Specifically, probably with the, maybe not the...
Well, Omega's probably not going to be in the match because he's going to defend his title.
Well, one of his many titles.
Yeah. But anyhow, what ended up happening here was, they tried to do everything they could to take out Sami Callihan, and they failed. So when we found out that Sami Callihan was going to get a chance to face the winner of the main event between Moose and Kenny Omega, Don Callis pretty much wanted to put a hit on him. So Scott D'Amore came up and offered for a street fight tag team match with the Good Brothers versus Sami Callihan and a partner of his choice. And obviously, Callahan didn't think this was very fair because he didn't really make a lot of friends at Impact. So Tommy Dreamer offered to step up because obviously he says the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Obviously, Don Callis was the enemy and the Good Brothers were the enemy. I really like that it was Dreamer that stepped up because if you remember at Hardcore Justice, it was Sami Callihan that took out Tommy Dreamer. They didn't really talk about it, but I think that was just something that I pointed to. And obviously, it just made all the sense in the world. And it opened the show. They also wanted to book this match to make sure the Good Brothers couldn't get involved in the match at Daly's, since it was taking place at Daly's place. They wanted to basically take all the precautions and make sure that Kenny Omega wasn't going to have any help. Well, not that he had to do it on his own, pretty much. This was a good street fight. It was pretty much any street fight you've seen, like an ECW or anything like that, but it was still entertaining. I mean, I can't, like I said, it'd be more entertaining with a crowd, but you have to, at this point, you can't really say that anymore because, it's still pandemic and all that type of stuff. But Sami Callihan won by hitting, I think, Carl Anderson with a bat, which made complete sense. And I did kind of like that he still gave, like, Dreamer a thumbs up, but obviously he's still, like, not on his side. But this was a good street fight. I gave it 3 stars. It was just pretty damn entertaining. And I like that Callahan's a babyface. I don't know if he's a babyface necessarily. I just think he's more of a tweener. He's just a babyface because
he's a babyface in this situation, considering what the hell's going on. And I mean, he was going to turn face anyway, considering he did. I mean, there's going to be a time with him and Moxley and Kingston. Yeah. There has to be at this point.
This is this is what I mean. I know we have to hold judgment. I think if there was a crowd, he would act more like a baby face than he is. Like but since there's no crowd, he's just the same Sami Callihan. But anyhow,
well, I mean, just because they turn face doesn't mean they should fucking just make a drastic 180 change out of nowhere.
No, I'm not saying to make a drastic 180 change, but I'm saying in terms of like his mood, like you would just feel like the energy of him when he does his offense and all that type of stuff.
Fair.
Then we had the next match. It was Joe Doran versus Kojima. Kojima was the next guy that came in from New Japan. I hadn't really heard of him before because I don't have time to watch New Japan. I watch what I have time for, and he was kind of a bit before my time. And I say a bit. He's been in the business like 30 years, so he's way off before my time. But yeah, they did vignettes for him. I actually missed his vignette because I watched Impact via the DVR, and I think I fast-forwarded it, and I didn't even notice it. I actually didn't notice it until they talked about it in BTI, because they do, like, the top 5 social media things, and he was in, like, the top 5, and I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that was a thing. But he challenged Joe Doran to a match at Against All Odds because they have a history in Japan. The one criticism I have about the hype in the match is they didn't do, like, a video package or anything, like, talking about the history. And I maybe they couldn't because they couldn't get access to the footage, because I don't know if they had the matches necessarily in New Japan. I think they said they had it like in All Japan, so maybe they didn't have the access to the footage. But I wish they could have just done something where they found a way out of it by using like pictures like from magazines or whatever. Because I just it just felt like it's like I said, when things of Impact change, the more they stay the same. It reminded me of, because I watch a lot of Brian and Vinny's videos where Impact doesn't tell you about history. It kind of reminded me of that. This match was still pretty good though. I didn't expect like a legendary match, but this probably isn't one of the best matches. I think they just clearly wanted to like have a match once in the US, and this is how they wanted to do it. It was pretty good. I just would have preferred it was Eddie Edwards.
What was the match again?
Kojima versus Joe Doran.
There you
go. Joe Doran ended up getting the win eventually via Rhino and Dina interference, which obviously made sense. I think he won with like a clothesline. And, this was fine. I just think it's weird that they didn't just do a match for the tag titles, because they're doing a match next week for the tag titles. I think that would have been much better than just doing the one-on-one match. I think the match would have been better because Eddie Edwards was there anyways. So it was still pretty good though. This is I've been waiting to tell you about this. So it was the X Division #1 contenders match. It was Petey Williams versus Trey Miguel versus Ace Austin versus Chris Bay versus Rohit Raju. So how this was set up is after that banner of a match. Let's talk about that banner of that Iron Man match since it's come up. That was an awesome Iron Man match.
Right. Yeah, no, that was fucking awesome.
I wish they've done it at the pay-per-view instead, especially with what we got with this X Division match. But it was still awesome. I like how they did it on BTI first, and then you did it, and then they went in like the final minutes because it makes BTI feel important. And I just really liked how like TJP had to fight just to get a fall, and he got the fall like the last 3 seconds before the time ran out. I thought that was awesome. If you haven't seen that X Division match, definitely give it a watch because it's really worth your time. Everybody
legitimately should be watching that Iron Man match because it was the best Iron Man match in pro wrestling, period.
Yeah. Did you want? Well, I still like Brock versus Kurt a little bit more, but it might be like top.
It's because it was in front of a fucking crowd. I actually give them more credit that they did it in front of nobody, and it was still edge of my seat television. So I actually fucking it was way better in my opinion.
It was fantastic though, and I thought it put like a nice little bow on the feud. And I think the reason TJP, by the way, isn't going for the belt anymore, this wasn't a stipulation, but I think this is a given. I think TJP even said like, I'm not going to challenge for the belt anymore. You beat me. You were the better man. So I think that's why he's not going to challenge for the belt as long as Josh Alexander is champion, which makes sense because you don't want to do that match. Right. There's no reason to do that match ever again for like 2 years. Let me talk. You're probably wondering like, why am I crapping the X Division match? There's great talent that's in here, which, it is great talent that's in here. Fantastic talent. We talked about it's the greatest X Division match. It's the greatest X Division probably in a long-ass time. At least in terms of talent and stuff. Okay, so here's what happened.
And you know what the sad part is? They're not going to fucking do a match similar to that again because they have to do these multi-man schmozzes every year at Slammiversary.
Yeah. Yeah, so let me tell you the finish. Now you know the finish since you saw Impact this week. But
not really. I mean, I didn't really know the finish. They did not explain that at all. So
I'll tell you. Ace Austin, going into the match, thought he was going to have Madman Fulton up his sleeve, but he was taken out because he got like a Canadian Destroyer, so he wasn't meant to be there. So eventually, everyone's having a killer of a match, and Trey Miguel was like on the verge of winning, and Madman Fulton just popped up on the apron out of nowhere, which was really cool. I would have thought it was cooler, but Keith Lee's already done this, and it was way better when he did it because of the camera work and stuff. But, he just comes in and wrecks everybody, and destroys everybody, and he puts Ace Austin after he's laid everybody out, onto I think it was Trey Miguel and Chris Bay. It was one of those two to make the cover, and he tells the ref to make the cover, and the referee just goes, "No, I'm not counting that. No contest. Match is over." And the Madman Fulton's like, "What? It's no DQ." Which I agree. It's a no disqualification match. This is completely illegal. This was a bullshit finish. You know what this finish reminded me of, right?
Are you kidding me? So they Seth Rollins this X Division match.
Yeah, they did.
So instead of making a definitive #1 contender, that's why we're having a multi-man schmoz.
Yeah.
At fucking Slammiversary. Are you shitting me?
Yeah, that's why we're having this.
Fuck off.
I was even thinking when I was going into this, I was even thinking to myself, I would like to see an Ultimate X match. I haven't seen one in a while, and since Impact Slammiversary is going to be in front of a crowd, love to see it. Of course, I ate my words.
After the way they fucking give, after their bullshit excuse to build to it, fuck that.
There was a way out of it too. You still could have had a winner had whoever won just face Josh Alexander, him retain, and you still could have gotten to the X Division match without having to throw this match under the rug. You didn't need to do that. It turned a 4-star match into a 3.5-star match. Honestly, I've been pissed about this match like for I think 3 days. So I just think to myself, see that's the Seth Rollins. I think this match pissed me off more than the Seth Rollins Fiend match because you expect.
No, it's not. It's not even anywhere close.
Yeah, I guess not. But damn, that finish just sucked. Then we had Rich Swann versus W. Morrissey, and this was very good. They really I think this really brought my spirits up for the show too. So obviously Rich Swann wants to take out W. Morrissey because he feels like he's just running his weight into Impact Wrestling. He doesn't want him to do that, just like Kenny Omega did, which made sense. And I love W. Morrissey's character. If you haven't seen it, I think he does a sit-down interview. I think it was with Gia Miller, where he talks about why he is the way he is. And he's basically using everything that's happened to him in the wrestling business to pretty much talk about, like, how no one really cares about you in this business. They're just out for themselves. And honestly, like, I mean, you can see his point, because if you remember, I think he even talked about the situation where he had, like, that siege or whatever, where everyone just laughed at him and stuff. Like, this is good. Like, he's having honestly, I love the Enzo and Cass stuff, but this is like way better than that ever was. Like, he's cutting the bed. He's showing that that Enzo wasn't the true mouthpiece. He could talk. At least in my opinion, anyways.
And by the way, not for nothing, but we all know what that promo exactly was, who that was directed at.
Yeah.
The whole you can't trust anybody but yourself. You don't actually have friends in this business. They're looking out for number one. That was directly targeted at Enzo Amore.
Yeah. So yeah, I bet you Enzo Amore is gonna send. I wouldn't be surprised if he already has. He's probably sent like a tweet saying, "So it's because of me you're having the best promos and best one of your career." I bet he's gonna. I bet at some point he if he hasn't tweeted it already, he's probably gonna at some point. But anyhow,
Sure.
This was very good. Basically a very good David versus Goliath match. I want to say anything, but I think W. Morrissey, he was either sweating really bad or I think he crapped himself because his ass was like sweating. I'm not sure what happened, but yeah.
Well, W. Morrissey has never had great luck in the ring. I'll tell you that. He's been a better talker than he has been a wrestler.
But I thought Rich put him over huge. He really sold for him. He did end up getting the win on Rich Swann, which obviously makes sense. He honestly shouldn't lose. Honestly, if they keep going this direction with W. Morrissey, he honestly could be a future opponent for Kenny Omega for the Impact World title. That's how good they're getting him right now. This was very good. I gave it like 3 3/4 stars. I'm sorry. It's very good. Then we had Tenille Dashwood versus Jordan Grace. This was set up because they're teasing a heel turn with Jordan Grace, where she doesn't think she can get the job done. Everyone thinks that Rachel Elwin's the person, and she's like the weak link of the team, which I'm actually okay with because I think Impact, and at least in the women's division, is lacking in heels. I think the only heels are Deanna and Fire and Flavor. I think that's it. Oh, and I guess Tenille, is a heel.
Yeah,
let me think about it.
I guess. That's a big, I guess.
Yeah, Tenille, was making fun of Jordan Grace because she was trying to be Rachel Elwin's tag team partner, but didn't want to be Jordan Grace's tag team partner. So it led to this match. They had a pretty damn good match. They both can go. Eventually, Rachel Elwin tried to prevent Caleb with the K from interfering, but Jordan Grace didn't want to do that. She wanted to get it done on her own, and it led her to get him rolled up and losing, which I was fine with. And then afterwards, she completely went in there and just destroyed Caleb with the K, and she had like a different energy about her. Like she's definitely gonna turn heel at some point, which I'm okay with because I think she's been a face since she's coming to Impact. I think turning heel would be something new for her. So I thought it was pretty good though. I gave that match 3.25 stars. And then they had Sam Beal and Brian Myers backstage. They've been doing a thing lately where Brian Myers is being like a teacher to Sam Beal. And they do different segments every week where he tries to do an entrance and he tries to do, I think, like a promo. Yeah, I mean, obviously it fits his gimmick, so I'm fine with it. And it led to Jake something coming up and telling him to not take advice, telling Sam Beal not to take advice from him. And Brian Myers, tells him, what has he ever done or something? And then Jake something said, well, why don't you go out there and face me in the ring right now? And Brian Myers didn't take the bait, which I actually liked. I liked how he even said, write this in your wrestling notes. Don't take the bait. Like, damn right, Brian, don't take that bait. He was trying to throw you off your game. Tell him. So.
Yeah, right. Good on him.
I think he's been taking lessons from Mark Young. Mark Young wouldn't have taken that bait. So.
Fuck no. Mark Young wouldn't have taken that bait.
Then we had the Knockouts tag title match. It was Fire and Flavor defending against Kimberly and Susan. This match I did not care about at all. It was decent enough. I gave it like 2 stars. It was filler as hell. The main reason is because I don't care about anybody in this match. I just can't get invested into a Susan and Kimberly match because they always lose. Always lose. I'm glad they did something with it on Impact. But who cares about... Why would I care about someone who's always going to lose? So I don't care.
Oh.
I give it 2 stars. So I think there was something in here I liked about it that made me give it 2 stars. I don't remember what it was, but it was something.
There you go.
Then we had the Impact World Tag Title match. It was Rhino and Dino defended against Decay. Rhino cashed in his Call Your Shot trophy on Finn Juice, and it led to Violent by Design becoming the tag champions, which was absolutely the right decision. If it's not the Good Brothers, this is the best team to hold the tag titles right now, and they just needed to get the belts off Finn Juice at that point. They were terrible champions, in my opinion. So,
they were fucking terrible in general, and they always will be terrible in general.
But something I really liked
They need to hold on before we even continue with that. What the fuck? Like, honest to God, like, Violent by Design makes sense, but like, why don't you have Jake in that fucking group?
Yeah.
Furthermore, like, you also have all this problem going on with fucking as it pertains to the tag team title scene. You have Decay, but Decay is literally doing nothing. So what is the point? What are we doing here? Like, what are we doing with the tag titles? They feel like they're all over the place. And, like, it all started because you had to put the fucking titles on Finn Juice.
I was legit
for
gonna
whatever
say
the
that
fuck
to you.
reason. Like, all you would have had to do was just have fucking Gallows and Anderson retain. Finn Juice was not the right people.
Yeah.
The right people was G.O.D.
Absolutely.
Period.
You could still, and honestly, you could still put the titles on Violent by Design the same way.
Yep.
So it doesn't. What I really like about with Rhino calling a shot though is this is where Impact actually showed us footage. At Bound for Glory, Rhino won that Call Your Shot trophy, so Heath could save his job, and he was gonna save it when Heath came back, and he used it on with Violent by Design. That just really, I think it really shows how much Eric Young has brainwashed and manipulated Rhino. That's what I really like about it. That's why I really like Rhino and Violent by Design. And obviously I liked how they talked about how Crazy Steve had a history with Eric Young because he trained Eric Young. So Crazy Steve was talking about how how Dina needs to follow in his own footsteps and all that type of stuff. There was that one promo on the Go Home show where Eric Young talked about how the world is sick, and it doesn't just it's not just in this company, it's in other companies. When he said that, I think I got too overly excited though, because I thought he was going to talk about AEW, but since Kojima was there, he was talking about Kojima. But maybe he wasn't just talking about Impact. Maybe AEW could be sick. Has people that are sick there too. Maybe
Everybody's sick.
Yeah.
Is the moral of the story.
Violent by Design retained the titles, which was obviously the right decision. So I thought that match was really good. I gave it like 3.5 stars. I feel like it didn't get enough time. If I had to make a suggestion, I think I would have taken the Knockouts tag titles off the show completely and just put that however long that match was, just add that to this match, and I think it would have made everything better.
Yeah, probably.
Then it showed a vignette for Steve Macklin because which is Steve Cutler from WWE. He's actually got a pretty damn entertaining character. We'll talk about him on the next when we review Impact from this week. Then we had Deonna Purrazzo defending the Knockouts tag title against Rosemary. I thought that's actually a great match.
You mean the world title, not the tag title?
Well, the Knockouts title, anyways.
Yeah.
This was a great match, which kind of surprised me just because I didn't really care about it because we've seen this match done to death because, like I said, Deonna's title reign's gone on for so long. She has to recycle a lot of her same opponents. But I thought they made the match work. It was great. And Deonna Purrazzo retained the title, which was absolutely fine because she shouldn't lose at this point, she's got to get to Slammiversary. So, and I believe if Slammiversary was, I know she lost the belt, I think, for like 2 weeks to Su Yun anyways, and then won the belt back. So pretty much she's been like Impact Knockout champion except for that one spell like a year. So she needs to lose the belt there because there's really nothing left for her to do as champ. They're just spinning their wheels until someone takes the belt off her. It shouldn't be Taylor Wilde now because that didn't go as well, obviously. And I think I know who it's gonna probably take the title off of.
Probably gonna be Mickie James.
Yep. Then we had the main event, which was a freaking fantastic match. It was Kenny Omega defending the Impact World title against Moose. That took place at Daly's Place. We had Tony Schiavone, Scott D'Amore, and Don Callis on commentary for the match, which I thought they all did great on commentary together. I wish they had kind of had Excalibur on the call instead because he's more Mr. AEW to me than Schiavone is. I think they wanted Schiavone there though because he's been with both the Impact and AEW, so he wants to be like that disgruntled guy that that hates Impact, and I don't think Excalibur really could play that role all that well because he's just too nice of a guy to do that type of stuff. So, but. Oh, I just think how good that commentary team would have been if Excalibur had been there. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, big time.
But it was still good with Dawn though. So I think this took place. They filmed this, like during Double or Nothing, like Fan Fest week, because the setup was the same from Double or Nothing Fan Fest week. Which then I gotta give Omega all the props because I think that same weekend you had to have a triple threat match and a title match with Moose. I don't know which one he had first, but damn, that is a big weekend.
He's a fucking workhorse.
I mean,
from what if the reports had to be believed, he's working hurt too.
Yeah.
Fucking props.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad he hasn't wrestled in a couple weeks. Because honestly, he would think about how hurt he would be. I'm gonna guess what happens is once he loses all the belts, he needs to take like a year off or like at least a few months off. He deserves it.
Yeah, I agree.
But this was fantastic. I was wondering how these two were gonna mesh together because this is a different type of opponent we've seen from Kenny Omega. Because at least from I've seen anyways, he hasn't really faced anyone the size of Moose in a long ass time. So I was wondering how is his offense gonna work against Moose. And they made that work into the match. I liked how he uses like Kenny Omega was using the speed and using all the tactics to try to take down Moose, and it didn't work. I believe at one point Moose no-sold the Dragon suplex, which was awesome. The Snapdragon suplex, anyways. Yeah, everyone just came out looking great in this match. Eventually, the ref took a bump when Moose accidentally speared him. and the Young Bucks interfered made complete sense because and I believe this is the first show the Young Bucks have been on since one of those one night only shows in 2013 on Impact, which was kind of cool.
Yep.
So they hit the BT trigger onto Moose and allowed Omega to hit the one-win Angel on him for the win. And notice too, Moose was protected because I think he had to have the Young Bucks help him to even get him up for the one-win Angel. So I thought they protected Moose very well in defeat. This was a 5-star match. I thought it was awesome. And you're probably gonna think I'm like Kenny Omega now because I think the past few matches I've given him has been 5 stars.
Kenny Omega's been killing it, dude. Like he killed it with Andrade El Idolo and he killed it with fucking. Because I've seen that match. That match was a fucking banger.
I thought that match wasn't supposed to happen till August.
Wait, didn't he fight him? No, I thought he did.
I think you mean. Do you mean Rich Swann?
Yeah, Rich Swann. No, it was you know what I'm thinking of? Fucking Ray Phoenix.
Oh yeah.
Play like ages ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, his match with Ray Phoenix has been fucking great. That was in AAA. Match with Rich Swann was fucking great. His match with Moxley has been fucking great.
Yeah.
Got a lot of good shit going on.
Honestly, and he's working hurt too, and he's still putting on 5-star matches. Like,
good on Kenny, dude.
Yeah. And then afterwards, they continued to beat down Moose, I think, and then Callahan teleports to the win, which was awesome because this is the first time, even though it wasn't a crowd, it was just wrestlers. This was the first time I think Callahan's probably gotten a pop in like over a year.
Yeah, right.
Callahan took out the Young Bucks with the baseball bat, and he was gonna like crush Kenny Omega with like a chair or something. And Don Callis threatened his job, but he still fired him anyways, which kind of put the title match in question with at Slammiversary because Callahan was supposed to face Omega for the belt. And afterwards, Scott D'Amore's all pissed off about this. And I'm going to guess Scott D'Amore didn't overrule him because I think they have the same type of power. So probably if one person makes a decision, like Scott D'Amore can't be like, no, you can't do that. I overrule you because they're like an equal footing. That's the way I'm making sense of it anyways. So I still enjoyed it though because it gave us, it was a cliffhanger to watch Impact on Thursday. I think the only thing is I kind of wish this match would have taken place on Dynamite, but when I saw the match, I'm like, probably not a good idea because it was more of an Impact angle than a Dynamite angle, and your Dynamite would have been undercutting their own show, so probably wouldn't have been the best idea. So,
yeah, I mean, what can you do at this point?
I just think like more people would have seen it if it was on Dynamite than.
Yeah, no, that's without saying. This is why I say you need to just buy the goddamn show out.
But then again, I was just thinking like. If Dynamite had put it on there, then because I remember Impact, and I think there was other places that would put matches from other companies on there, and it didn't benefit them. So Dynamite, if AEW had done that, it would have made AEW look pretty bad. So you would have. So yeah, I enjoyed Against All Odds though. I gave it like a B-. This match honestly is the reason it's a B-. If this match wasn't on the show, it probably would have been like a C+, mainly because of that X Division title finish. That pissed me off.
Yeah, so good on you. Good on you with the X Division finish. It's fucking great.
Yeah, let's review Impact from this week. Pause. All right, now let's review Impact from this week, which was Thursday. I didn't take notes because I was lazy. I know you just don't want to hear that, but that's just what happened. I was just too lazy to take. My laptop was too far away, and I hate using my phone for Google Docs, so I just didn't take notes. So I'm doing this based off memory. I want to talk about, since we just talked about it, the big angle that took place on the show. So we had found out throughout the show that Anthem was going to send an executive, not an executive, but somebody over there to talk about the decision, which I thought was kind of cool. I liked how they talked about how this was the first time that's happened. I don't think it has. I'm pretty sure they had to do it when Alberto El Patron was suspended, but I don't think they wanted to talk about that, so I can understand why they forgot their own
Because
history.
fuck Alberto Albatron, blackball him from wrestling history. I agree with this.
So it led throughout the show where we were wondering who it was going to be. Don Callis talked about how it's going to be some corporate stooge who was going to also understand that Sami Callihan can't be there, and all that type of stuff, how he's a liability to the company. And when the main event actually happened, I liked the way it was set up because Matthews and D'Lo Brown were just hyping up the next week's show, and all of a sudden you just heard Sami Callihan like in the ring. That was kind of weird though because they did like his hacker thing like afterwards. He was already in the ring. I didn't really understand why they felt they needed to do that, but I still thought it was kind of cool. And Sami Callihan was just talking about how bullshit this was and how he's not going to leave the ring until he gets either Kenny Omega or Don Callis. And security came out, and Scott D'Amore basically told security to get out of there, which, good on him. No other authority figure's ever done that before. He just wanted to talk to Sami Callihan one-on-one, and he basically talked about how he was on Sami Callihan's side. And he talked about how you should let him handle the situation because right now you're not helping your case by being here right now and disrupting the show. And Callihan actually listened to him. A lot of people might complain about this because it's like, well, this would be if Stone Cold Steve Austin had just listened to Vince McMahon and all that type of stuff. I didn't really get that vibe here. I got the vibe that Sami Callihan saw that Scott D'Amore was trying to help him, and I think he decided to let him do this his way. And I don't think it made Sami Zayn look bad at all, honestly. I thought it actually was realistic.
Sami Callihan, you called him Sami Zayn.
Oh. Well, honestly, Sami Zayn wouldn't have taken this line down. He would have been bullshit about this. But, so Don Callis then came out and basically said, yeah, I was right. This is what happens when you have Sami Callihan here. So Scott D'Amore, and I liked how Don Callis, like, he just shows how much of a hero he is by talking about how Scott D'Amore reacts based on an emotion and, you know, is too close with the talent to do his job when basically that's what Don Callis is doing. I loved how bullshit he was being. I thought that was awesome. So it led to Tommy Dreamer coming out, and right when he came out, I knew what was going on. So eventually it gets revealed that he was the guy that Anthem sent over, which made sense because he's worked closely with Impact and stuff. He was kind of already like an executive, I think, anyways. And he reveals that Sami Callihan isn't fired. I will talk about this real quick. I was fine with that, but I really wish they would have gotten creative. And, like, they had done something where, like, Tony Khan came out and signed him to AEW. He's still signed with Impact, but he just shows up on Dynamite and still agrees to do the match with Kenny Omega on, like, Dynamite or something. I thought that would have been kind of cool. But then again, I just said, like, it wouldn't really wouldn't benefit Impact if they did, like, a Dynamite, but whatever. But anyhow, so Dreamer then says that pretty much Scott D'Amore and Don Callis have been at each other's throats for a while now. And that's not what they wanted when they brought this company back to prominence. And
Not at all. By the way, speaking of Kenny Omega, as we're going through your reviews, I just got this freaking notification. Apparently, Kenny Omega was just on the fucking business.
Wait, he's what?
He was on Bloomberg.
What is that?
Fucking business fucking bureau. He was on their fucking station, I guess, talking about the fucking stock market of all fucking people.
I think Kenny Omega is the last person I would expect to talk about the stock.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but apparently not. Apparently, well, then again, he is an entrepreneur at heart. Anyway, continue.
So it led to Tommy Dreamer talking about how we need to have the talent be focused, and I think we were meant to think that he was going to take over, and Scott D'Amore and Don Callis were both going to be out of a job, but that was the opposite. It ended up only being Don Callis. He's no longer an executive VP of Impact Wrestling anymore. Now, in real life,
this is already the case.
Yeah. So now they just did it on screen. And then when he went backstage, Sami Callihan said he's going to take the world title from Kenny Omega. I was going to have this just be a talking point, but since they did a storyline out of it, I think a lot of people are talking about how now the partnership with AEW and Impact's going to be over because Don Callis was one of the main people that was, helping getting that along. But now that he's not with Impact, technically with Impact anymore as an EVP, it might not be a thing anymore. Like, it could lead to Kenny Omega losing the belt at Slammiversary. Well, that's what I'm saying now, if the partnership's not going to be a thing. I personally don't think so, because I feel like Scott D'Amore, since he is an EVP, is open to working with AEW. I would be kind of surprised if the partnership was over. I feel like if the partnership ends, it would be
AEW's the Impact's fucked.
Yeah.
AEW is going to be fine, but Impact is fucked.
Yeah, because we've seen. For the most part, the partnership with AEW, I think, in NWA is over, and we see how badly that affected NWA. I think Impact would be better off.
They're still using their NWA fucking shit.
Well, probably not anymore. I'll talk about that in a second.
Why? What's going on?
Well, Camille's the champ now. I don't think she's going to Dynamite with the belt. So,
well.
But I think I think the partnership could still be a thing. I'm gonna wait to see what happens at Slammiversary. If Omega retains the title, I think the partnership's still in effect. So we'll see. What do you think?
We shall see indeed.
What do you think, though? You think this? What do you think of the angle, by the way, too? Because you actually saw this, and all that type of stuff.
As far as the angle goes, it was great. I did not expect that that's how they were going to write Don Callis off as an executive.
Yeah.
That was fucking cool. Who's running Impact now? Do we even know?
No, I'm not sure. I have no idea.
Well, we'll figure it out at some point, I guess, right? It was a great angle. I thought the way they wrote him off was actually pretty fucking great.
Yeah.
And I love how it was Tommy Dreamer, of all people, to tie into the fucking history between those two that spans back to the ECW days. Really good touch. Really awesome touch.
If you remember, too, it was Tommy Dreamer that was skeptical about Kenny Omega and Don Callis coming in to begin with, too, when they came in. So,
yeah.
Other things that happened on the show was they built up some more to the Ultimate X match. We found out online that there was going to be an Ultimate X match. So Ace Austin and Wahid Raju agreed to work together to take out everybody in the match. So later in the show, it was Josh Alexander versus Madman Fulton, where Josh Alexander won. And afterwards, they beat down Josh Alexander, and it led to a big brawl where Sheila came out and ruined everybody, and now it's a partnership with Ace Austin, Fulton, Sheila, and Rohit Raju, which kind of does make sense. I'm assuming they're going to turn on each other, like, in the match, because obviously you want to...
Probably. That's how this works.
But
listen to W. Morrissey. W. Morrissey seems to be the only smart one other than Brian Myers in the wrestling business.
Yep. So I enjoyed that. I enjoyed all that stuff. On BTI.
By the way, another person that's not on fucking Impact anymore because they're so bad when it comes to funding actual contracts is Hernandez.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So I could explain why we haven't seen Swindler's Palace lately, because Hernandez was a big part of that. So, also on the show, well, I forgot what was it. Oh, TJP, like we talked about, beat Black Taurus in a very good match. Like I said, though, I feel like
why did he get the win?
Yeah.
They gotta stop doing that, man. He should be protected like nobody's business. But no,
if you were gonna have TJP win, he should have beaten Crazy Steve, not Black Taurus.
Yeah, that would have made sense.
It's building to a tag match next week now with Fallah Bahh and TJP versus.
Yeah, so what the fuck was the point then? If we don't like 50-50 booking with WWE, why are we gonna like it with them?
Well, maybe
that's basically what it is, because I guarantee you, the Decay is winning that.
Yeah, probably. And we know who's taking the loss. Fallah Bahh is going to take the loss.
Yep.
And then Kojima faced Rhino, and if they won, Eddie Edwards and Kojima got a tag title match, and he did. It was a pretty damn good match. This actually was better than the match that Kojima and Doran had at the pay-per-view. I would have done this match instead against all odds.
Yeah, I probably would have also.
But anyhow, I'm fine with that match. I'm looking forward to it. I'm assuming it's going to be Doran and Rhino defending the titles this time, because they're the actual champs. So there you go. On BTI, Jake something faced Daivari. It was very good, actually. Daivari can still go, and I think he's almost like 50, and he can still go. I mean, then again, he hasn't really...
Yeah, right.
I don't think he did all that much when he was younger, because he mainly was a manager and was mainly enhancement talent. So it's not like he... And it was released.
True, yeah.
Yeah. But he did end up getting the win, which I don't have a problem with, because Daivari, obviously is in the position where he should be putting over talent. But then afterwards, it was laid out by Brian Myers. So what's happening here is I think Matt Cardona got an injury or something, because a few weeks ago, Brian Myers laid him out.
Oh, no, Nick Gage fucking injured fucking Brian Myers. Oh, boy. Obviously, that probably didn't happen, but still, they're supposed to have a match. And now I'm wondering,
But anyhow, Brian Myers took out Matt Cardona backstage. So I think, and they said he was going to be out kayfabe 12 weeks. So that might actually be legit. That might be legit. So it kind of sucks, because I was into that feud. Then what else was on Impact? So throughout the show, Fire and Flavor were going around and trying to get people to say that they were the greatest tag team of all time. Well, Knockouts tag champs of all time, anyways. Which I don't really... They might be, actually, but that's not probably saying much, because I can't think of really any good Impact Knockouts tag champs off the top of my head. Maybe Rachel Ellerman and Jordan Grace, but they didn't have the belts that long. So...
no.
I guess the beautiful people. That's it.
By default, it's the beautiful people. Which, by the way, that might be my next fucking booking, is redoing TNA in 2010.
Yeah. I was gonna say this too. It seems like no company can do women's tag team wrestling right. WWE fails. I would even say NXT's failing at it. NXT's probably doing it the best. But they had to make I'm assuming they had to make their own tag titles, because WWE fucked up the booking of the women's tag titles so badly. But anyhow,
yeah. So just in other words, just watch my show and you'll be able to see.
I mean, we rebooked the tour. We remember our first booking video was us rebooking the women's tag tournament they did, us rebooking the tag division, how they get crowned the first champions. So.
Yep.
So then, but anyhow, Rosemary and Havoc attacked them, which I'm happy they're officially a team now. They should win the belts, and they got thrown into the dumpster, which I knew was gonna happen. But then what happened next, and I'm like, I don't know why. I swear to God, I didn't see this show ahead of time. I instantly thought of Mickie James, because. When she got fired from WWE, I forget the exact story, but apparently they sent her a trash bag, like, full of...
Oh, yeah. Yep, they sent her a trash bag. And apparently, that's been commonplace for years now. With everybody. So, I mean, to me, it's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, why would you do that?
And trash bag... What was in the trash bag? I forget. What Mickie James...
Her shit, basically. Just her shit.
And on one of the trash bag, it said Mickey. So that means she's coming to Impact, which I'm really happy about, because I was worried when she went to... I really wasn't happy she went to NWA. I try not to be like someone that's not happy when people go to certain companies, because it's their decision. They want to go to these... And obviously you could kind of see why she'd go there, because her husband's there. So I'm like, okay, I can't be too mad at that. But I'm happy she's
getting... good?
I'm going to get a drink of water after I review Impact. So,
yeah, right. I think you should get it now at this point. Fuck it. We always have to fucking Just get a drink of water.
Anyhow, talk about Mickey James going to Impact, possibly going to Impact while I get the water.
Mickey James should go to Impact. I don't that's where she. If there are two companies Mickey James is associated with the most, it's WWE and then Impact. So yeah, I think she should go to Impact. I think that was a fucking no-brainer choice. Period. So good on them for actually recognizing that, because I'm sorry, the NWA. I mean, I know she probably will win the title from Camille, but I mean, at this point, if they're gonna do an all women's paper, AEW is gonna get involved, even if they say they're not going to. Obviously, Mickey James is probably gonna get them involved somehow. And she'll probably try to be a belt collector of some kind. Although you could also make the argument that it might be Britt Baker, but I wouldn't mind seeing a match between Mickey James and Britt Baker for all the gold. There's a lot you could do with Mickey James with the Impact partnership, and God willing, if NWA isn't fucking stingy because of fucking Mr. Aldis. But God willing, we'll see what happens.
Hopefully, Mickey James could talk some sense into him. So,
yeah, right.
Yeah, so
because this Carney shit needs to fucking end. It's doing the business no fucking favors anymore. Dead serious.
And all right. So then, also we saw on this show some more dissension between Rachel Ellison and Jordan Grace, where Jordan Grace basically called her out in the shit, saying that, like, I couldn't even get the tag titles before you got here. Everyone thinks that you're the star of the team and I'm not. And she just walked off, and it led to Rachel Ellison facing Tenille Dashwood by herself and losing. So they're continuing that feud, which I have no problem with. This is also a criticism, though. They have tag titles and they're breaking up all the freaking teams. The hell? Like, this is what WWE did. So
it's exactly what WWE did, and Impact has fucking sucked when it comes to women's tag team wrestling. And the fact that nobody can get it right unless you're from fucking Japan is appalling. It's appalling, and it's fucking unnecessary.
Even AEW,
stop breaking up teams when you bring back the tag titles for the women. It makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
Not everything needs to be booked like Jersey Shore, okay?
And then...
Fucking god damn it.
Speaking of breaking up teams, Yona Purrazzo just kicked Susan and Kimberly to the curb, which I'm fine with.
Which makes no, I'm not fine with, because I'll tell you why. Susan's obviously gonna fucking leave the group, but you know who's gonna fucking come back? Chelsea Green! Why are you breaking them up?
Yep.
It makes no fucking sense. You have a tag team in Kimberly and Chelsea Green right at your fucking fingertips. Why are you breaking this team up?
Yep.
Why is it that they're leaving Susan's ass and fucking going off by themselves?
Yep.
Are you fucking kidding me? God, I hate Impact booking sometimes.
Then...
I really fucking do.
Moose wanted a rematch with Kenny Omega throughout the show, and Scott D'Amore said he couldn't deal with him because he had to deal with the Sami Callihan situation, so he said, I don't got time for you. And Moose was like, oh, you're going to make time for me. And he just went and he was going to take the show hostage.
Again. Until Mr. Saban came in and fucking drop kicked him in the fucking face.
And hit him off the head with a chair, too. So we're getting with Saban versus Moose. I'm absolutely fine with that. I have no issues with that at all.
No.
It makes sense. And Moose obviously should win that match. But I'd be fine if he won, and if Storm comes back, that's when you bring back James Storm, and he kicks his ass afterwards, and you do Storm versus Moose again.
Storm versus Moose, and God willing, Alex Shelley finally comes back.
Yeah, I think he's...
My God.
Oh, maybe he could come back at that show too.
I think he should. Fucking year. It took him a year.
I think that's everything from Impact. I think I got everything. I'll double check. But I can't think of anything I really missed.
No, that's everything on Impact. That's important.
I thought this show. I really liked this show though. I thought it was great. I'm gonna give it
the
a
Go
B.
Home show was pretty damn good.
And overall, in a nutshell, I'll just say with Impact, I still enjoy it. I think lately they've been doing some decisions that I haven't been like agreeing with, like obviously that X Division finish, and honestly, I'm really not a fan of what they're doing with the Knockouts division.
Their tag division's fucking abysmal, dude.
Yeah.
They need to get. Dude, Mickey James, the whole reason she's pray the stars Mickey James got released, because if it's not for her, I don't think Impact will have a Knockouts tag division any longer. She's going to single-handedly fucking save that division.
Yep.
Seriously, it's bad.
And I think that's it. So let's move on to AEW talk. Pause.
Yeah. Also,
all right. So before we actually, I would say do a quick rundown, but there's no reason to do that. I'll just put this in. This will be its own thing. James does what Randy wants to do.
The TNT wanting to keep the NBA around for their fucking television network. Get them the fuck off your network and tell them to piss off and go elsewhere. Fuck the NBA. Nobody wants to fucking watch them. I'm definitely never watching the NBA, period, ever again, since they've been kowtowing to China. As we have fucking found out, by the way, they are probably the reason why COVID was out on purpose. Like I fucking said months ago, by the way, on this fucking program, that's probably why it fucking happened. So fuck the NBA for kowtowing to that fucking country. That's number one. Number two, fuck the NBA as a whole, because they got these fucking NBA players every time, and AEW's like on after they fucking delay the game purposely just to preempt them further from their fucking time slot on purpose. Nobody wants to deal with a bunch of petulant children that can't get on the same page and try to win a game, and they'd rather half-ass the fucking playoffs. Nobody wants to watch that shit. Fuck the NBA. Get them the fuck off your network. As far as I'm concerned, AEW is bringing in more viewership to TNT than fucking NBA is. In fact, the numbers prove it. Unless it's fucking playoff season. And even then, that's a stretch. So please, get them the fuck off your network. Sell them the fucking NBC Universal for all we give a shit. There's my rant.
I'll just give my 2 cents to talking about this. I totally agree, because I see people like post that AEW is on the decline in ratings, and no one's even pointing out the fact that it's because of the NBA.
And fuck you people too, by the way, who can't think with their own fucking brain. Why do you think their ratings are in the fucking toilet right now? Because they had the fucking change from 8 o'clock to 10 p.m. on Friday nights after SmackDown.
Yep.
Yeah, no shit.
I mean, we talked about it. What company, even if that wasn't the case, what show does good on a Friday night at 10 o'clock p.m.? No, there's no way you can
Not
get
a
good
single
ratings.
fucking show. And I also want to point this out. For those who are going to be like, well, I mean, this is a test run for the Rampage. No, it fucking wasn't. They had to fucking move networks. They had to move from TNT to TBS because TNT won't fucking get the NBA off their goddamn network. Which, by the way, it's a benefit for AEW all around, because AEW is going to be exposed to more eyeballs anyway because TBS is in more homes. Whatever. But even so, the reason they're moving the network in the fucking first place, prematurely, mind you, is because of this fucking goddamn conglomerate that fucking kowtows to China.
Yep.
Fuck that. Fuck them and fuck anybody who supports them. God damn it.
I think that ends the rant. Let's pause. Let's continue.
Sorry.
All right, let's talk about Double or Nothing now. So I want to set the table, by the way, and James, you can say it later. So this was a make or break show for James. There was one match on the show that needed to go well for James to continue to watch in AEW. Now, he did say there had to be a certain.
We did review Blood and Guts, right? And I made my opinions known.
No,
on
we
that,
never did because.
Okay, so all right, so I guess there is kind of one more rant I gotta go by.
Yeah, but
Blood and Guts. I'm gonna just be very quick about this. Blood and Guts main event was fucking abysmal, and the fucking botched ending was the least of their goddamn problems, and that's just due to bad camera work. Which, by the way, they have since corrected because whoever the fuck was doing the camera work then ain't doing the camera work now, and that was obvious with the fucking cage fight.
Yeah.
That said, this fucking Blood and Guts match was fucking trash.
Yeah.
Absolute goddamn garbage. From the minute the bell officially rang all the way to the fucking ending segment, that was so poorly done. It buried the entirety of the Pinnacle, with the exception of MJF. It even buried Wardlow, but Wardlow was going to be fine because he hadn't really done much. But FTR and Shawn Spears needed to look good there. The only reason that this match even fucking happened was because they fucked up Blood and Guts so bad.
Yep. So let's go through Double or Nothing, and we'll.
They made up for it, so I just wanted to point that out there.
So let's go through Double or Nothing. I'll do the same thing I did the Impact when I went through how the matches got there. So we had the buy-in. Excalibur and Shivani were on commentary for that.
Highly recommend everybody watch this fucking NWA Women's Title match. This is back when Serena Deeb was still the champion, and she fought Riho to finally kind of tie the bow on that little feud that they had on AEW.
Absolutely, yeah.
Fucking awesome match. This match was awesome.
That was very good. I gave it like 3 3/4 stars. It was very good.
The crowd was fucking hot, by the way, for this opener.
Let's talk about it, by the way.
This was the real opener. Can we be honest? This was the real opener of this goddamn show.
Yeah.
This probably should have made the main card.
Absolutely. I mean, they need a buy-in match, though, so...
Fair enough, but I mean, regardless, this is a great way to get people to get some last-minute buys. Yeah. This is great.
So I'll say this too, because this was the first show AEW had with a full-packed crowd, and you could just tell the wrestlers and everybody just was much more passionate, and they were definitely going full out with the full crowd. It was awesome. I'll tell you a little story too, because I watched the shows late. I had watched Dark and Dark Elevation from that week before I watched the Dynamite with the crowd. It was like a night and day, a completely different show. I mean, I know that they are anyways, but you just know something was different with the crowd. It was awesome.
Something tells me the Elevation and Dark matches must have been fucking great, by the way, too.
I mean, yeah, they were better. They were great, but. There were still kind of squashes and stuff, but
I mean, it's Dark and Dark Elevation, but I'm expecting the key matches had to have fucking delivered. No question.
But much better crowd. I'll do I'll do my recommendation. Actually, I'll just say this. I will do my recommendations at the end. I'm just gonna save the time. The 2 Dark Elevations and the Dark with the crowd. Just watch the whole show with the crowd.
Much better with the crowd. Much better with the crowd. Did they have as many I watched Dark Elevation with the crowd.
Yeah.
That was, I mean, I had it on in the background. That was much different with the crowd involved. That was obvious. I think they had that show before Dynamite, I want to say.
So.
I think so.
Are you talking about taping wise or like airing wise?
Taping wise.
Yeah,
I think they had this show before the Dynamite, before the Go Home Dynamite, basically.
I would guess so, yeah. I think Dark was filmed at. I think Dark might have been filmed. Yeah, remember too. They did a fan fest for 3 days too. So maybe so this was probably part of the fan. I think Dark was part of the fan fest because Taz and Excalibur would mention the fact that there were people walking around because it was fan fest. And if I had to guess, since Kenny Omega and Moose took place, I'm gonna guess it took place probably like before Double or Nothing, maybe at some point.
Yeah, probably, I would imagine.
So could you imagine, by the way, if you didn't even plan on it and you got to meet Moose? That'd be
That
insane.
would be great. That
Yeah.
would be great.
But let's go through the show. And then, on commentary for like the actual show, Jim Ross was added to the mix. So, because
And then Taz was for the opening match as well for his Team Taz boy. That may not be his Team Taz boy as time goes on.
So yeah, Hangman Adam Page fought Brian Cage. This came because Brian Cage beat Hangman Adam Page, and Hangman Adam Page wanted him to face him one-on-one with no bullshit, no nothing. And Brian Cage agreed, and it led to this match. This was a great match. Very back and forth. I really enjoyed how.
Before we start anything, actually, we have to. We'd be doing a disservice to Page if we did not mention this. The crowd hot for Page. Like I kid you not, I had not heard a crowd reaction that loud since like Road Warriors, dude.
Yeah.
They fucking went off when his music hit.
Absolutely.
They went crazy loud. Like it showed on the TV. It really did.
But this match really was back and forth. This might have been better than the Dynamite match because there was a crowd and stuff, but this was just so enjoyable. Eventually, Ricky Starks and Hobbs tried to interfere on Brian Cage's behalf, but he didn't want the help.
And he didn't want the help, and then it cost him with a buckshot lariat, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because I haven't seen all the Dynamites that Brian Cage has been on. Is this Brian? Because I know he's lost before, but is this the first time like he's lost like definitively? Because I know one time Taz had to throw in the towel, and then he's lost by Roller by Darby. I think this was like Cage's first like definitive loss in AEW, which shows how much they're protecting him.
This would be his first, yeah.
And they still protected him because the only reason he lost is because he didn't want the help. So.
Yeah. By the way, everybody that says that he's too big, he should be a big guy heel. No, watch the way he works when he turns full on.
Yeah, I think
I've seen him in Impact. He's fucking. He can absolutely be a babyface. You just got to give him the time.
I do worry though, because him separating from Team Taz might be a bad decision because he's not the best on the mic.
His feud with Sammy Callahan was living proof that that's a misconception.
I mean, yeah, he did good in there, but I've seen him in interviews like on Vicky Guerrero's podcast and Alicia Ortuz's interviews.
He did fine. I thought he did fine with the fucking what was it? I thought he did fine with the Sting bit.
That's true, yeah.
And he didn't have any fucking struggle talking for himself there.
Well, then again, we think this, but this isn't WWE. They don't make everybody talk either. So,
this is true. So they may not. They may just make Brian Cage come out as like the no nonsense fucking Goldberg badass, maybe.
Yeah, but this is 4-star. This was a great. By the way, the star ratings are probably higher than normal because this was the first show I've seen with a full crowd. So if I go too high on the star ratings, that's probably why.
Yeah, fair.
Then we had the tag title match. It was the Young Bucks defending against Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston. We
need to talk about this too because while I have not been a fan of the fact that they gave Wild Thing to Moxley when it makes absolutely no sense with them, that crowd popped again when the song came on. Like they were singing loud and Moxley's hyped.
Well, I don't think. I think it's just Moxley and Kingston's tag team theme because he's come out in singles and he's come out to his original AEW theme. So I think it's just Moxley and Kingston's tag team theme.
Okay, then still, I mean, I guess the Wild Things moniker makes sense with the two. I loved Kingston getting a fucking reaction to huge reaction.
Yeah. You could tell
Eddie chants, and Eddie was literally about to break.
Yeah,
but he was trying to keep it cool. Like,
well, this is
Kingston is made it. Like, and about fucking time, by the way, about goddamn time. Fucking 10 years too late, but he's finally here.
Because this is probably the biggest crowd he's ever.
Biggest reaction he's ever gotten.
Yeah,
biggest reaction he's ever gotten. And by the way, it's fucking awesome that he got a reaction. Out of all the people, like he may be the next in line if Omega And like he's going to probably be the next in line after Jungle Boy. I would imagine that Kingston's gonna at least get a world title match with Omega at one of the touring shows. That he has to.
Yeah.
He has
to. So, this stemmed because it was a continuation of the issues that the Bucks, Moxley, and Kingston were having with each other. We've pretty much gone through this. I think the final straw for the Bucks was Moxley and Kingston trashing their locker room and stealing their shoes and stuff. This was a great match.
And they got their doors or Dior's.
Yeah,
great. And by the way, we're gonna talk about it throughout the show, but you really notice that AEW is really building the future.
Yeah,
like it's fucking noticeable all throughout the show, and we'll definitely get into it, but. This is one of these moments where I realized, wow, they're really focusing on the future. Because, like, Kingston, while he'll only have 5 years, he's definitely going to be a future champion one day.
Absolutely.
And you can tell by the way they're protecting him. This is a fucking great moment for Kingston here.
Yeah. It was a great match. I really loved how it was chaotic in the beginning, but eventually the Young Bucks outsmarted them and cheated. I love how they laid out Brandon Cutler. I love his new role. I think he's only the stooge role. I mean, I think he's going to continue it, but obviously because he's got like a legitimate injury too, so he doesn't probably want to be wrestling too much. But I think Brandon Cutler's
okay, so that's why he has the face mask?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless it's kayfabe, because they said he injured it against Penta on Dark Elevation a few weeks ago. So.
Yeah.
But I loved how the Bucks kept cheating. I love the struggles of people hitting their finishers. Just everything about this match really worked. Eventually, the Bucks won with they just hit multiple BTE triggers on Moxley, and eventually it finally put him down. And I really like the finish. So I think we've had some. I had a debate with Chris Dodd. He wasn't happy that Moxley and Kingston lost this match, which is fair. But then he went on to say, "You're the EVPs. Put people over." I'm like, you were at the Dynamite when the Bucks have done nothing but put people over recently. They put over Private Party. They put over.
First off, done. There was no way that Kingston and Moxley could have won the tag team titles. I send this to him because I don't give a fuck. Mox has a kid too. End of story. He had to lose here.
Yeah.
Dude, I want to put this in perspective. Because Revolution botched so bad, they had to fucking write him off. This was the only way they could write him off. All right? Okay. Like, oh my God.
And I would say that, and I bet a lot of people are complaining.
It has nothing to do with the Young Bucks not putting people over. First off, even if they wanted to put Moxley and Kingston over, they couldn't. Because Mox has a kid due. Do we forget this?
Yeah.
I mean, by now it's probably born because he's showing up at New Japan's fucking full show in the U.S. and I don't even know fucking how long, but he's fucking he has a kid due, so that's why he fucking left.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. Like, it's just how it is. And then, what was the other fucking thing?
You're the EVPs put people over? Was that it?
Yeah, they did nothing but put people over anyway. They have done nothing but put people over. In fact, even when they win, they've done nothing but put people over. Look at how many fucking teams they've fucking brought in.
Yeah.
The Acclaimed, Top Flight, fucking Varsity Blondes.
Yeah.
Seriously. Like, there's a lot of great teams right now because of what AEW did. They were Young Bucks put people over even if they win. You don't always have to fucking put people over with a loss. Like, that's when your fucking stock devalues.
Yeah, that's
what happened when, like, not everything, when you put people over that way every single time, you end up with a Chris Jericho situation where he loses to Fandango, and then nobody gives a shit.
Absolutely.
They did the same thing with Van Dam. They did the same thing with the Dudleys, and their stock plummeted. They even did the same thing with the fucking Hardys.
Yep.
Young Bucks are doing it right. Sorry to tell you, they're doing it right.
And you know,
They're
like you
putting
said,
people over. They just can't put everybody over with a fucking loss because then if they keep losing, their stock immediately plummets and their stock doesn't raise.
especially too,
There you go.
you know, it's kind of they also like just turned heel in this heel one. Heel one. They can't lose
No, fuck no.
And you know, a lot of people might like you said. I'll piggyback what you said. A lot of people might complain like, why was this his write off but not Revolution? If that had gone to plan, that would have been probably his write off. But they
That
had
probably would have been his write off. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you the fucking Hardy family office would not be as big either because the fucking Butcher and Blade would probably be the next number one contenders, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Which I don't think wouldn't have been as good.
Yeah.
Not that I hate the fucking Butcher and the Blade. They're an awesome tag team, but like there's just no chance. No chance that would have been as good.
But I gave this match like 4 3/4 stars. It was great. It's fantastic.
Fucking great. Phenomenal.
So we had
We've had fucking 2 great matches to kick this off, by the way.
Yeah.
I just want to point out.
Then we had the casino.
Actually, 3. Got the pre-show.
Yeah. We had the casino battle royal where the winner gets a future AEW World Title match.
This was fun. This was fun.
With Paul White on commentary. He didn't really bring anything to the table.
The guy who sounds like he's going to fucking World Golf PGA Tour. Fucking, you know. Doesn't sound like he's. For the record, with this match alone, this is when I talk about the future. Obviously, we already know the winner in Jungle Boy, but even beyond that, fucking Max Caster, Anthony Bowens, the Acclaim got shine here.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Varsity Blondes got shine here.
Yep.
Fucking
Private
Aaron
Party.
Solo Aaron Solo, Big Shotty.
Yep.
There's a lot of people that got some shine here.
Absolutely.
All of them are young as hell.
Hobbs
too. Fucking like Christian put over young guys in a sense. Fucking Private Party. There's some crazy fucking young people in this, and there's very little veterans.
Yep. I think Christian was the only veteran, really. Christian and Matt Hardy.
No, you have Christian, Matt Hardy. What else
that was it. I guess Colt, if you want to count Colt as a veteran.
Yeah, Colt Cabana as a veteran.
I think that's it.
That might be it. But yeah, there's a way more young guys than there were.
So then the Joker. By the way, I like how I did like the first. I'm one of the few people I think that like the first Battle Royal, but I like the presentation of the Battle Royals now because I remember like when they did the Battle Royals, the first 2, like there'd be people that would show up as like a surprise and you wouldn't know it because they all came out together. I like how they have their own separate entrances now. So that's good. So the Joker was Leo Rush.
Which, by the way, for those saying he did not get enough offense, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. He got plenty.
Yeah.
Like, he actually looked good here. So,
yeah.
I don't know what people are talking about. But that leads me to another rant. You fucking idiot. Oh, I'm gonna retire because I got injured and it's taking a toll on my mental health. Really?
Yup.
Again? Dude, you're not in WWE anymore where they're gonna fuck you over. Get over yourself. Just because Mark Henry, this is the reason why he fucking retired. And I don't care what anybody wants to fucking tell me. You can fucking fight me on this. I don't give a fuck, okay? He fucking retired and he quit early because Mark Henry showed up. That's why he fucking quit. And until anybody actually gives me stern, fast proof that there was other reasons as to why he fucking retired that weren't from his own mouth, because that's bullshit, and you know it is, then I'll fucking believe you. But until then, he quit fucking pro wrestling because Mark Henry showed up in AEW, and there goes his opportunity, quote unquote. Even though he would have still had an opportunity because Tony Khan isn't a carny.
Yep.
Fuck Leo Rush.
I know,
He's
yeah.
an idiot. He's a fucking idiot.
But yeah, then it led to the final four, where it was I would say the final three: Matt Hardy, Christian Cage, and Jungle Boy. Matt Hardy.
It was the final three. It was the final two. I mean, Matt Hardy was in there for a second, and then he got dumped.
But I say this because Matt Hardy tried to work a deal out with Christian Cage to take out Jungle Boy.
Yeah. And then he got tossed out by Christian, and then
Jungle Boy tossed out Christian after they went at it for a bit.
Dude, they fucking legitimately had the best spot that I have seen in a long time, and it's so simple, but it could have gone so wrong here. But Jungle Boy whips around literally like a fucking cat and swings around a square post, mind you.
Yep.
And holds on by doing that because Christian was going to toss him into the post and eliminate him that way, but Jungle Boy freaking went whoop, and then went on the opposite side 90 degrees. That was great. It
was great, yeah.
It was not contrived. It was fucking believable. Like, that was great. Then he back body dropped him off the freaking thing when Christian tried to go for a kill switch, and Jungle Boy reversed it into a back body drop, and Jungle Boy won. The crowd popped. Huge.
Afterwards, Christian really got him over. He got him over huge at the end by showing respect and telling him to make this moment count.
Yeah. They went nuts for that.
This is a great. I give this 4 stars. It's a great battle royal.
Yeah, this is probably one of the better ones, to be honest.
Anthony Ogogo with QT Marshall then fought Cody Rhodes with Arn Anderson. This came off because
people give this way too much shit. This was just on a bad spot of the card, honestly.
I thought it was good.
They give this way too much shit. Anthony Go-Go surprised the shit out of me.
Same.
He fucking really surprised me.
I'll rephrase that. He did and didn't because I did remember Pat McAfee and Shaquille O'Neal. I thought he could have surprised me. He surprised me because I did remember.
He was more surprising because literally all we have seen is him punch.
Yeah.
And here we actually saw him wrestle. So obviously he knew his fucking worth.
Yeah.
He knew, he was like, dude, if I'm going to fucking actually full on wrestle, I'm going to wrestle on pay-per-view.
Yep.
He was right.
This was set up because of the continuation between the Nightmare family and the Factory's feud. And Cody Rhodes wanted to face Anthony Ogogo. This was America versus British feud again. And Cody Rhodes was going to be for one night known as the American Dream. I almost said the American Nightmare.
He looked like a fucking... I think he came out like a villain from a video game, people pointed out, even though he looked fucking great.
Yeah.
I don't care. Him and a fucking villain from a video game, but he looked great here.
One great thing about the match, too, is Cody Rhodes doesn't have that Snoop Dogg music anymore.
Oh,
Yay!
my God. Thank Christ. And by the way, that remix is baller.
Yeah.
Fucking love that remix. Holy shit. Great. Goosebumps, bro. That was such a welcome change. Then I Snoop, and I'm rapping over a really fucking B-Tech beat. Ba 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 ba. For shizzle my nizzle. Like, nobody would know.
This was a good match, though. I give it 3 stars. Cody won with the Vertebreaker, which I think a lot of people complained about.
Time.
Yeah, I think a lot of people complained about.
Why did he lose to the Vertebreaker? Because the Vertebreaker should be lost too.
Yeah, there was an out, by the way. A lot of people think that Cody buried him, but he didn't, because they did tell you on commentary that Anthony Ogogo, this is probably legit, did get injured training in the match, which I actually think gives him an out to lose the match, because he
not to mention the fact that if it is legit, the fact that he worked on it in his first pay-per-view match shows how much how much of a professional he is, and 2, how fucking how good he is. If he's that good and fucking not at 100%, imagine what he'll be like in fucking a year's time. Because he already looked great here. I thought he wouldn't be TV ready after his first 2 matches. This showed me that he's fine on TV.
Yeah.
Dude, I love this. If we ever have another cage match again on Dynamite, just because of the novelty of it, love to see a go-go scrap with Hager. Absolutely would fucking love that. That was really
imagine how
cool.
good he'll be too when he has with even more training too.
Yeah, big time.
I gave it 3 stars.
You know what's sad too? A lot of people are giving the whole Nightmare Family Factory storyline shit, but you know what this is doing? This is proving that you do not need one specific training program to make it in pro wrestling.
Yep.
And it's funny because the Nightmare Factory, which isn't necessarily a training school for AEW by name, is more successful than WWE Performance Center has ever been.
Yep.
Don't at me.
I would agree with that, yeah. And I'll say this too,
the amount of people that have come from the PC that have succeeded on the main roster and or NXT, you can literally count them on maybe one hand and a thumb.
Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair, I guess. Talk to me in a year though about that. Talk to me in a year about that because she.
Well, yeah. Well,
I was gonna say Raquel Gonzalez, but wasn't she in the Indies for like a bit?
Dude, most people that looked like they were TV ready that were on NXT probably trained in the fucking Indies. The only exception being the Velveteen Dream, and even he was on the Indies for a bit.
Yeah.
Before they called him up because they realized, wow, they shouldn't have fucking voted Patrick Clark out, which by the way looked so great on them when it came out. Hulk Hogan was racist, and he fucking floated out one of the only black contestants on that show.
Yep. Because I think that was right after that.
The point being is that the Nightmare Factory is more successful than the WWE Performance Center, and it hasn't even been a full year yet.
I'll give my 2 cents too. If people are really going to give flack about this feud, people months ago were talking about how Cody Rhodes was so directionless and all this. This is giving Cody a direction now. Like,
yep. Gives him a direction.
Yeah. Now,
granted, it can get old sometimes.
Yeah.
Because you feel like you're seeing the same match, insert different person here from the fucking factory. Sure. That's a valid criticism.
I think another valid criticism that I have is this is that problem with Cody Rhodes setting that stipulation on himself that he can't challenge for the title because now he has to make feuds without fighting for the title. So, like, they base...
You can solve that problem by buying out Impact, just saying.
And Nick Aldis could have solved that problem too. So,
don't remind me.
We do got to talk about it because it's been apparently people are saying there's heat between Cody and the Elite because a lot of people are saying that he's not in the Elite anymore. He's not even on screen with them. How true do you think that is?
I'll believe it when I actually see it. I'm hoping. I did believe it at first because apparently they had a high-profile free agent they were going to sign, but it turns out, they ended up backing out last minute, and I honestly thought it could have been Punk.
Yo.
But at this point, that'd be like me grasping at straws, and I honestly thought it was more because of Blood and Guts ending, not because of fucking Cody shit.
Yeah.
What Cody is doing, what is he actually doing that's harming them? He's not really harming the show. I don't understand. He's just trying to get new talent on the show as quickly as possible with his school. It's not really that big of a deal.
He's also helping the show because he's going on other platforms. We could say the Go Big Show, and it gets people to eye Dynamite too. So
yeah. The fucking match he had with Jane Cargill and Shaq.
Yeah. I hate this. People.
Red Velvet.
People might not like to hear this, but in terms of mainstream, he's a bigger star than the Elite is. More people know who Cody Rhodes is than Omega or the Bucks or Paige.
That said, well, hold on. That said, something needs to be said that AEW should probably pay out some fucking talk shows to fucking get some of their guys on, so that way they can have a segment on their talk shows.
Yeah.
That goes a long way. WWF did that for years before they ended up reaching out to them.
Yep.
So I don't understand why they don't do that.
Yeah.
And it's only Cody doing that. Like, because again, I feel like there should be more eyes on good fucking television. The problem is they don't promote it as much on mainstream outlets.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the only one that is doing that is Cody.
Yep.
So you can maybe make an argument that you should probably do that more often.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, the heat with Cody and the Elite. Well, I'm just gonna kind of wait and see.
If Cody's the next person in lines for an AEW title shot because they found a roundabout way around it, and the champion happens to be Omega, then you'll get your fucking answer.
Yep.
You'll get your answer. Although I happen to think it's probably going to be Paige first.
Yeah. Then we had another great match. It was Lance Archer versus Miro for the TNT title. This was set up because Miro won the belt from Darby Allin, which we'll talk about what went into that. And Lance Archer wanted to challenge him for the title. So it happened. Miro ended up taking out Jake the Snake Roberts prior on the weigh-in during the Fan Fest prior to this. And yeah, this was a great big man match. I really enjoyed this. By the way,
really I do want it too. By the way,
everyone needs to be quiet now about Miro. He's finally getting the push that you guys all wanted. So,
yeah, right.
Everyone was so mad about it that he was. But
I literally said this was the fucking Kip Sabian thing was a stepping stone for him to say fuck Kip Sabian, I'm done.
And it was.
Lo and behold, look what happened. Oh my god.
Yeah.
And hey, I was one of the people that was getting sick of that fucking storyline too, but they ended it with a banger with the fucking Arcade Anarchy match they had, and then they fucking shot me over to the top after he fucking said fuck Kip Sabian.
And yeah, Miro ended up getting the win with the I don't know what he called. I guess the camel clutch. And Jake the Snake Roberts tried to interfere but failed miserably. But this was a great big man match. Go watch this. It's great.
Dude, Peter must have been pissed when they saw the lump of turd thrown across the stage.
Yeah.
Thinking it was a snake.
Then we had the women's title match.
I love this match. Great big man contest.
Absolutely.
I like ass fight. It's good ass fight.
We had Sheeta defending the women's title against Britt Baker. This was set up because Britt Baker worked her way up the rankings.
I love this match, by the way. I'm actually gonna rate it high. I'm giving it 4 stars because they fucking got both women over. Everybody that says this went too long, you are all fucking morons. If you think that they're gonna job Hikaru Shida out night one in against Britt Baker just because you just want to see Britt Baker win the belt.
Especially considering the fact this was a first title defense with a full capacity crowd.
Not to mention, I don't know. She's held the title for a full fucking year.
Yeah.
So she shouldn't look weak.
Yeah.
Hey, you remember when Kofi Kingston didn't even hold it for a full year and he lost in 8 seconds and how much people were pissed off about that?
Yep.
Love how people are saying that Hikaru Shida should have fucking lost.
No,
Stupid.
This was great. I love how emotional Shida got because this was the first time she's been able to be in front of a full crowd defending the title, which is what she wanted, and she ended up losing the belt. But yeah, it really sucks because if the women's division had been booked better, because she needed to lose the belt because it wasn't her fault. They didn't really give her an opportunity to be a good champion, but.
Right.
When they did, she knocked it out of the poke. And unfortunately, with Britt being the champ, they're gonna put her on TV more because they like Britt Baker. They just like Britt Baker more than Sheeta, I guess. So, but it was still 4 stars. I thought it was great. Another great match was Kenny Omega defending the AEW World Title against Pac and Orange Cassidy. What a great match this was!
Such a great triple threat.
This was set up because
there were fucking many moments where I thought they were gonna give the title to Cassidy. I'm dead serious.
I hope Jim Cornette watched this match.
Oh, he did. I can confirm he did.
But yeah, this was set up because Pac and Orange Cassidy had we watched this match together. They had the match on Dynamite where it was supposed to go to a new contest, but because Cassidy had the injury scare, they had to do a DQ finish. So it led to the triple threat match. And Omega, I like how they turned it into a storyline, his injury scare. Omega and Callis tried to get Cassidy to back out of the match, but he refused. And
you can make it, there is probably nobody better than AEW to make a backup plan when plan B does not go according to plan.
Absolutely,
I mean, if this wasn't evident of that, go back to how they fucking worked around the Revolution bullshit.
Yeah.
I think Kingston covered up so fucking well on the mic with that.
Yeah.
And then just, the fact that Kenny Omega built a dud.
Yeah.
They booked it fucking well. They really did. So AEW knows how to book themselves out of a corner when, unfortunate events just happen. So good on AEW.
The only time they didn't was the Matt Hardy thing, but that's a different
but that's because we don't need to go back into it again. Although even then they fucking kind of booked around that if you think about it later on.
Yeah. Well, I haven't seen later on yet, so
you haven't even gotten that far yet with your catch up?
No, I haven't.
You're in for a treat. I'll just say that. Get ready for a deletion.
So that's all I'll say. Yeah, this was a great match. Everybody came out looking great in this match. At one point, Cassie was about to win the belt. I even loved, I think there was one point where, Omega was in trouble. Callis, who was on commentary, went shit, rushed off commentary. I thought that was awesome.
I love Todd Callis, bro. He is so good at the manager role, bro.
Remember we shat on him almost a year ago.
He still sucks at commentary. Don't get it twisted, except for when he's healing out for his boys.
Yeah, that's the only time he does two commentary now, though. So,
so there you go.
And Kenny Omega hit Pac with four
belts. Could he just get more belts? Give him all the belts. Nick, I'll just fuck you. Yeah. Get your belt. Get the Kota Ibushi. I love you, bro, but give him your belts. Give him all the belts.
Kenny Cross, give him your belt.
He can do the spot.
What? Yeah. Oh, can you imagine if he had all the belts? I think Pac would be dead right now.
Hey, yeah. So I'll do the skit right now. Okay, so they call you the bastard Pac. Why do you have shards of diamond and gold in your teeth? Pac just looking like this.
That has to be a BTE segment now, right now.
Oh my god.
But yeah, then Cassidy had the belt won at one point, and then eventually Omega finally won with a roll-up. And he celebrated with the rest of the Elite. I think we're getting Cassidy versus Omega at some point for the title now. I feel like they have to.
It has to do that. I by the way, the fact that Cassidy is not this should have been his next evolution. By the way, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Eventually he should ditch doing the pockets gimmick, because that should be enough of a wake up call. Fuck you, Kenny.
Yeah.
That would be the moment to turn him from comedy character that wrestles really good into full on I'm gonna take this shit seriously now. And that's scary for every single one of you motherfuckers. Because I wasn't trying before.
What would Jim Cornette do if he legit starts to wrestle now too? Jim Cornette. Jim Cornette
will still hate him, dude. Fuck Jim Cornette, okay? He wants fucking Kenny Omega to die. He's wished death upon the Young Bucks, 2 fucking fathers of kids. Fuck Jim Cornette.
Yep.
I don't give a fuck what he thinks. His fucking opinion's worthless when it comes to that shit.
This was 4.5 stars right here. So
yes, it was. It was a fucking great match.
Then we had a huge announcement. They announced this was the first time I think they talked about AEW Rampage, which is gonna be the Friday night show.
I don't know if you've seen their fucking preview on the split screens when they do them, but that show's looking. That show's looking.
So I mean, what is it? Because I haven't been able to read the news on it. Is Rampage going to be the second show, or is it going to be different? Like,
apparently, it is the second show. Yeah, it's the 1 hour show that we're talking about.
Are they going to make it? I mean, are they going to make it different from Dynamite?
I would assume so.
Yeah.
I mean,
I wonder if they're doing a brand split. I don't know if they should do a brand split yet.
They should only do a brand split when Rampage goes to 2 hours. If it's not going to be Impact and there's Rampage, they should go to 2 hours first, and then do a brand split. In my opinion, I still think it should just be Impact. But.
Same. I mean, you would have to get because by then Omega would be losing. He would probably be ready to drop the belt by then, anyways, too. So, you could get loads of people in the mix for the X Division too. Like the X Division is great now.
X Division's fucking phenomenal. That's why I'm saying there's a reason why AEW should buy them out is because they would have a lot more talent to their disposal, and the X Division's living proof of that.
Yep.
And they can trim a little bit of the fat and rebook gimmicks that just aren't working and actually put a good twist on it.
Absolutely. So, the huge announcement though was Mark Henry is going to be like a commentator now. Mark Henry, I wanted to point this out, who's been like the biggest WWE like supporter, fucking left WWE for AEW.
I wonder why. Maybe it's because he was fucking disrespected.
What happened?
No payoff.
Yep. He did say why he left on Renee's Paquette's podcast, but I haven't listened to it. So,
I bet you it's probably fucking horse shit.
Yep.
But who knows? I actually do have to listen to Mark Henry's explanation, although I'm pretty sure I know what it is already, and I don't have to listen to it.
It's just crazy to think, by the way. Like, I know we talked about when Paul White left. But I think now that Mark Henry signed, like he was such a WWE like supporter.
He was a lifer. You would have thought he would have been a lifer.
So I wonder, and by the way, if that's why they got rid of Braun Strowman, because if you remember, Mark Henry was the one that brought Braun Strowman into WWE.
I wouldn't be shocked. If that's.
Do you notice, by the way? I think this show aired, and I think a week later, if I'm not mistaken, it was at least a couple weeks later, Braun Strowman. Right after this, Braun Strowman was gone. I feel like that's not a coincidence.
No. Supposedly, it's because of almost, but like, I don't buy that. I don't buy that. I think WWE's petty like that. I 100% believe they would do something like that.
But yeah, I'm excited to see what Mark Henry does in AEW. Unfortunately, this has led to those conversations now. You know, AEW getting all the WWE rejected talent. Go watch this fucking show and shut the fuck up. I'll say that. Watch this fucking show and shut up.
Yeah, please.
I mean, I'll just say this too. Like,
this ain't TNA 2010, okay? Yeah. This ain't that. It's not even close. A lot of people are comparing it to that, and it's like none of you people know a fucking thing about pro wrestling if you think this is TNA 2010.
Yeah. Like,
first off, Mark Henry isn't even wrestling, and if he does, it's on a per event basis.
Yeah.
Which means not very much. Same thing with fucking Big Show.
Yep.
Okay, so they may never. By the way, they say they're gonna wrestle. They may never wrestle.
Yeah.
Because they're not the main focus. In case you hadn't noticed, may not be the main focus ever on their show. As it fucking shows, by the way. Okay? So it's not like they're signing all the WWE rejects. Okay, a lot of the people that are signed were talent that people wanted to see succeed, that could have made it big in the WWE, that actually could have generated buzz, that are now generating buzz somewhere else because they actually have a presence.
Yes.
John Moxley, Chris Jericho was actually really the first one, if you think about it, by his logic.
Miro.
FTR, Miro, fucking Archer.
Matt Hardy now. It took a bit, but Matt Hardy.
There's a very, and then even then they're still building AEW original talent too.
Yeah. I mean, so for like 5 weeks straight, Darby Allin main evented Dynamite with the TNT title against Dynamite talent, if you remember. It's also too tough because, like, you guys have to remember, too, WWE's been around for years. I think pretty much everybody has been in WWE at this point. So
at least once. Even the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega were in developmental. So, yeah. I mean, actually, no. Fucking Young Bucks were in house show appearance. And
no, remember, they were fake DX. If you remember.
Right, they were fake DX, right. So they were fake DX, and then Kenny Omega was in developmental for a bit.
Yep.
Deep South.
So it's really tough. Go. I mean, I see it like this. Like, if this was TNA 2010, Big Show would have shown up and, like, won the world title his first night in.
A minute in.
I mean, it's also...
if this was 2010 TNA... Sting wouldn't have had this long build-up to his return match back.
Yep.
And he wouldn't have taken a fucking loss in 10 seconds and then buried the guy that beat him and minute in, like he did with Van Dam.
Yep. Speaking of that, I forgot to write...
It's not even close.
I forgot to write that match down, by the way.
Yeah, we should probably... Actually, before we even get to anything, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Which is actually, even though we skipped that before the world title match, it's probably good that we did, because this was probably the biggest thing besides the probably their last Stadium Stampede ever. Sting and Darby Allin versus Men of the Year, which is Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky.
Well, this was set up too because
this match fucking ruled.
Yeah. This was set up to
all sorts of ass, dude.
Yeah, this was set up because Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page played a hand in costing Darby Allin the TNT title because he was taken out at Blood and Guts by getting thrown down the stairs the week before. So it led to Darby losing the title because he wasn't 100%. I loved how they talked about the history between Ethan Page and Darby Allin.
I don't even know about it. Apparently, that's why he has the dent in his fucking head. And I'm like, why does he have a dent in his forehead? I now get my answer.
Yeah.
He hit the Page, cracked him in the head.
I loved how Scorpio Sky got over too because he took out Stin a handful of times and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And then,
by the way, I loved how they tied up every end they needed to with the story, because Sky always wanted to work with Sting, and Sky always wanted to wrestle his idol. And now he's a heel and he's wrestling his idol. And Page has history with Allin. And Sky has a recent history with Allin. And Sting's associated with Darby. So it all ties in. And I absolutely loved how he suplexed him. And Sting gets right the fuck back up. The crowd lost their fucking mind. This is a guy that was told he could never take a bump like that ever again in his life.
Yep.
Or he would have been paralyzed. Which goes to show you how far fucking, number one, how far medicine has come over the years. That's number one. And number two, how Sting has not lost a fucking beat.
He's 61, too.
He's 61. He's doing fucking crossbody off the poker chips. He's doing code reds and shit.
Yeah.
It's fucking 62-year-old Sting, dude.
61, but...
61? Is it 62? Who's counting?
61. They said 61.
He might Sting, bro.
Yeah.
Unreal, bro. This is... And, like, he literally probably could have gone... I guarantee you put Sting in a match for the TNT title with, say, Miro, he probably could go 20 minutes. I'm convinced.
Yeah.
At 61.
Yeah.
Nuts.
And
He
this
fucking
is,
took. This is. I couldn't believe Sting even came back.
I don't even.
Let
I
alone
invite that.
wrestled.
This is a 4 3/4 star match. Just because I couldn't believe what I saw.
I love it. We'd be reminiscent to we'd be stupid to not talk about the key spots. We talked about the Sting doing a crossbody after poking chips. Another spot
Ethan
we
Page tossing Darby Allin like
God,
out
was
of.
fucking insane. I thought he broke his legs.
Yeah.
I honestly thought that Darby was going to be out for a bit here.
Honestly, I think Darby Allin says he doesn't want to be in wrestling all that long. And afterwards he wants to do movies. He may not even get that option with the bumps he's fucking taking. Like,
he's going to end up like Draws if he keeps this up, bro. Jesus Christ. The Scorpion Deathlock and the leg lock.
Yeah.
Submission where and then Darby and Ethan are just slapping each other in the face.
Oh,
Fucking
yeah.
Great spot there. And probably the best spot as far as how clean it looked. Sky was going for his rolling cutter.
Yeah. And then he turned it into the
thing turned it into the Scorpion Death Drop, laid him out 1, 2, 3, and the crowd went ape shit for that counter.
Yeah.
I never seen the move performed like that, but I'm glad I got to see it here. This match kicked all sorts of ass, bro. All sorts of ass. Fucking great way to fucking bring back Sting in an actual match capacity.
Yeah, I like how they kept telling you that too, like in the build up to the match, that it was actually going to be a match too.
That was fucking great.
You know, we'll talk about it when we actually like go through like the Dynamite and stuff. We're getting Sting versus Darby at All Out.
As we should.
Yeah.
And honest to God, I expect Sting to take some crazy shit bumps.
I don't know if it's gonna be a cinematic. Oh, we be missed too. The entrance they had for this match, Sting and Darby, was insane.
God, yes. Yeah, the entrance was nuts. The crowd went nuts for the snow falling. This was just fucking great.
But then we had, I don't know what the match. I really don't have a match on the night for this show. Like, it probably just depends on my mood.
This whole, I mean, the match of the night. I mean, it's really just a toss up.
Yeah, but then we had the Inner Circle versus. So this was the key match right here for you. Right. Why don't you talk about it? Because this was the match. This was like do or die for AEW for you right here.
So this is truly. Because I had an opportunity to correct their mistake at Blood and Guts. I made my opinion known early on in the show that the Blood and Guts match was done terribly, and it really did not make Pinnacle look good. They have since redeemed themselves here with this fucking match. MJF already looked strong, so he did not need to fucking get much offense here. He was the only one that you could arguably say looked weak, and even he got some moments of brilliance in this.
Well, the thing is too, like MJF too can always look weak, but he can easily be recovered because he's so good on the mic and because of how good of a heel he is.
Yes.
I mean, you can't do it. You can't.
Everybody's a great mic talker, but there's only one MJF.
Yeah.
There just is. So luckily, he learned from his mistake. I guess he got into fucking flack for it on social media because, like, regardless of what he wants to say, you know he's paying attention to that shit.
Yeah.
And he fucking since corrected it with this match. We got to talk about so much in this match, but I'm going to talk about the key moments here. First off, they come in with their Pinnacle limo, which would not be they would not be around for much longer, as we found out.
Yep.
It was a diversion all along because in comes FTR with their pickup truck with Sean Spears and Tully Blanchard in the back, along with Wardlow. So that was a great little diversion there from Pinnacle towards the Inner Circle. And then the brawl just begins. and it takes place on the football field at first. FTR got their double pile driver spot in the beginning, thank God.
Yep.
Because
So I will like
they should have had that.
And then MJF comes out of the limo and Jericho's just there like, "Hi Max." I just love that so much, like how he was just waiting for him. And then they all separated like last year's Stadium Stampede.
Yeah. Except this was way better, I thought, even better than the first one. Well, let's talk about the fucking places they separated to and how this all went down.
So Jericho and MJF are like fighting for like the corporate part of Daly's place.
Jacksonville Jaguars head coach. By the way, this actually gave AEW some serious press, which pisses. This is why I say fuck the NBA as well, because AEW would have fucking got such great number because of this on Wednesday. They actually made it on ESPN, like a bunch of other sports networks. They made like mainstream with that one clip of the coach saying, "Holy shit."
Damn.
They actually that was really clever on Jericho's part. And you could tell that was a Jericho idea.
Yeah.
Great stuff there all around.
So I'll admit, I do have to ask you this. When MJF was starting to look weak, were you getting worried? Because obviously you had remembered Blood and Guts. And
I did get a little worried until I started seeing the Hager and Wardlow's fight portion of this, and then it was like all upswing from here. So first off, they're fighting like a bunch of freaking. They're literally fighting. They probably have some of the best work punches in the business. Wardlow and Hager, as we saw later on in the cage fight.
Yeah,
but legitimately, they fucking had. They look great here. I mean, they just look like two big meaty fucking hosses battling it out here. Holy shit! Anytime I see Hager, he looks better, even better than I see him every single time.
Yeah,
it's actually a crime that they did not use him better in WWE. Because he just gets better and better. He looks more motivated. I think that's what it is. He's more motivated than he was in WWE.
Yeah, I think too. He's got more. He's got more experience. I feel like though there are some cases in AEW he didn't look like the best. Like I remember he had a match with Cody. I believe it was at Fyter Fest Night 1. That wasn't one of his best performances. I feel like this is definitely a recent thing. Like I think because I remember his match with Moxley in the empty arena match was kind of a stinker too. So I feel like maybe those. I feel like
pandemic era ain't gonna count. I'm not even gonna count that, honestly. I know they've had great pay-per-views in spite of that, but like even so, like, can you really count a pandemic?
Yeah. Well, maybe I will be fair. I wouldn't probably count the Moxley Hager empty arena match because they probably had to do that match on the fly too. So, but I think ever since maybe he started like tagging with I think September is when he like really started to get turned things around.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the fact that he's just fighting, I think him working with Wardlow has helped him. Although I even without Wardlow, he's had matches where he's looked great.
Yeah,
he really has. Like Hager is really coming into his own. I would expect like he's not going to be a world champion or anything, but like expect him to win a championship in AEW at some point.
Yeah,
because he's fucking phenomenal. And he's just going to get better from here. Wardlow looks great as usual.
Mm-hmm.
Their fucking brawl into the meat locker, I LOL'd. That was fucking great.
Yeah.
Give it to. Of course, they had to have the Rocky Balboa spot with these two fucking
absolutely
meat guys. The spear through the fucking drywall by Wardlow was great.
Yeah.
Then he chokeslammed.
Didn't he chokeslam him too? Because this is all one thing, pretty much. I believe someone got chokeslammed like through the boards of wood. I think it was Wardlow chokeslamming Hager through the boards of wood.
Yes. One of my favorite bits was Shawn Spears in the chairs room.
Yeah,
that was awesome. Everybody's like, That's so contrived. Oh my god, it's so contrived. No, it's not.
Makes sense.
There's literally a fucking spotlight in the fucking thing, and they're supposed to be. I don't think it's that dramatic, but you can maybe make an argument that it's kind of contrived in that way, but it's not actually as contrived as people are making it out to be. I love the whole him clanking the chair down. And like a fucking thing out of a supervillain movie. It was great.
Yeah.
These two end up fucking fighting. Like Sammy had some great spots here, and you had Sean Spears get some great offense in, and he just was looking for a weapon, and he just tossed shit out, and then he grabs a chair. He tosses both colors, which was to his detriment, as we found out later.
The whole group's detriment too.
Oh yeah. Sean Spears got some great shine in this by having smarts over speed, which made sense, just in general.
I think this is the best Sean Spears has looked since his feud with Cody in 2019.
Oh, yeah, by leaps and bounds, for sure. Great spots by Sean Spears. My favorite part of this whole thing, fucking Tully Blanchard and FTR are in a club.
Yep.
Okay. And out comes Proud and Powerful, fresh off of just getting pile driven through fucking 2 tables. They pour shots, they toast like real men, drink. Santana looks over to the DJ. And he's like, hey, yo, DJ, hit my music. Conan is the DJ. And if you know the history between Conan and LAX, those are the last 2 members of LAX of recent history.
Yep.
And so he plays Born Nasty, a track from fucking Santana's project, as the backtrack. As FTR tosses the fucking table and they just have a fucking Pier 6 brawl in the middle of the club. And then as Tully Blanchard tries to get involved in this fucking melee that's erupted into this club, by the way, Conan gets involved and he's like, fuck off, and punches him. And so he and Tully get into it for a bit. This was my favorite. This thing looked like out of Mortal Kombat in a sense as well, because there is a club stage in one of the Mortal Kombat games. That's what this reminded me of.
So
this is great.
I do think you have. I don't remember Conan really getting into it with Tully.
Oh no, he did. He did.
Oh, I'm pretty sure
he ended up fucking punching him like a couple times.
Well, I remember like he didn't take any physicality because I don't think he can because he's only got like he's got a lot of health issues. So.
Well, yeah, no shit. What? You think that's gonna stop Conan? Give me a break.
There was one spot though. I forget who it was. It was either Dax was like throwing beers, like bottles.
Oh my god, that was brutal. Yeah. Just chucking them.
And I think it was
Santana and Ortiz.
Yeah,
that was great. Yeah, they just had a brawl, bro. Like there was like 2. Which, by the way, I honestly don't think pinfall should count outside. It should take place in one of the 2 rings. I don't think it should have been false counting. It was like only nitpick, but still.
Yeah, I think last year was false counting anyway. Yeah.
Last
year I was fine with because it was. We should mention too, like I don't think this was really a cinematic match. It was just kind of like a false because last year's was more of a cinematic match than this year's was.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure. Do we want to talk about so this is the spot where Hager chokeslammed Wardlow through the freaking crates.
Yeah.
And went nuts. That was great.
Yeah.
Wardlow looked like a beast too. Like he didn't go down without a fight here. So that was awesome to see. Yeah.
Sean Spears was like walking around, and all of a sudden, I forget he like saw something that was like out of place. Like he saw like I think this motorcycle gain out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was the inner circle, as Excalibur said, because he knows everything for no reason. It's the inner circle motorcycle club, and I'm like, God damn it, damn it, X.
Is this something I haven't seen? Like, do I have to watch more Dynamite to get what?
This was on the go. This was on one of the. I think it was the Go Home episode, The Blood and Guts.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, remember they had their special entrances and shit.
Yeah, that I remember. Yeah. So,
Yeah, that's what that's a
and
reference
then
to.
Sammy Guevara like tries to run over. I think he succeeded. Sean Spears with the golf cart.
Nice callback. I love that callback.
Yeah. So that's like.
But before we even get to that, we got to talk about the last bit of the MJF Jericho bit here.
Yeah.
We literally have to talk about their brawl into the halls of the offices, through the offices of TIA Bank and the Daly's place. In that, there's a couple brutal spots and a couple fucking funny spots. First off, the funny spots.
Jericho using the megaphone and just screaming at MJF.
The fact that he punches Shahid Khan and he's like, "You're in deep shit," and then he puts him back, and then he pets Shahid Khan's cardboard cutout. The crowd pops. That was great. The fucking Floyd the Bat, how he just randomly had that place there. And then the brutal spots came from MJF, where he just pile drove on a meeting table, mind you. So this table had no give. He pile drove Chris Jericho onto this fucking thing.
Yep.
Which is like brutal. And he tried to use a wrench, and he was really beaten down on Jericho's arm before this. And Jericho stopped it from happening, and that's when Floyd came into the mix.
Yep.
And
props on Jericho, by the way, because he's working with like a legit injury too, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, he is. And then comes the best part. All right. So as everything is coming to a head and coming to its proper conclusion, okay? So after Sean Spears runs away from the Inner Circle Motorcycle Club.
Yep.
Which they probably, by the way, admittedly, they probably could have had them actually try to go after Sean.
Yeah.
Just my little nitpick. But still, like, it's a nitpick again. Then they cut to the live feed, okay? And it looked like it was all one take, but it wasn't. This was filmed over 4 days, including during the live feed. And so MJF, after getting put through the plate glass window at the door, he's bleeding like a stuffed pig, okay? He's coming through, and they're fighting into the fucking arena top, and MJF is working on Jericho's arm. And then he's thinking he's got Jericho, and he's going to toss him off the thing. He's going to dump him over the fucking rail. And Jericho ends up beating him down, elbowing him, and then he puts him through 2 tables and starts celebrating with the fans. The crowd's going apeshit. Sean Spears on the other side of the arena finally escaped the Inner Circle Motorcycle Club. And then Sammy Guevara's golf cart spot happens, and he gets the biggest, probably the second biggest ovation of the night, behind Adam Page.
Yeah.
And actually, there's 3 big pops. There was Sting.
Yep.
Sammy was a part of these big pops.
Yeah.
So he's got that to his fucking name. Sure.
Well, I feel like you got to throw Eddie Kingston and John Moxley in there too. So
yeah, it's true. There's a lot of great pops on this show, honest to God. Jungle Boy too. I mean, there's some good shit. Okay.
I mean,
anyway, the point is, Sammy Guevara got a huge pop.
Yeah.
They brawl into the fucking Daly's Place ring. Now they're at a Daly's Place ring. And just when you think Sean Spears is going to put away Sammy Guevara to finish the Inner Circle off, Sammy Guevara, and by the way, Sean Spears has some brutal fucking chair shots in this.
Yeah.
He looked like a killer here. Like, he looked like he was ready to kill the Inner Circle.
Yeah.
And Sammy Guevara fights back. He hits like Go to Hell, which is the Burning Hammer into the GTS. And then he's doing exactly what Sean Spears did to him, which is the Super Dragon and Curb Stomp into the chair.
Yep.
And he screams, "No, Sammy, you son of a bitch!" Bam! Face first into the chair, 6:30, 1, 2, 3. Sammy Guevara saves the Inner Circle. And they all celebrate and leave the crowd home happy, even though they lost they look great in fucking defeat because they had some great moments on this. It did not bury the Pinnacle in the slightest.
And if you think
thumbs
about
up all around.
it legit didn't really make sense. It makes no sense really to break up the Inner Circle right now. You really just can't break them up.
No, absolutely, I agree.
I gave this like 4 3/4 stars, but I think I'm gonna give it 5 now that we started talking about it. I know I said before that but if you have to ask,
I think just to be fair, we probably should stick with the 4 3/4 again because there were slight nitpicks. But
I would have liked to seen. I feel like we didn't get enough of it. Like I know we got the ball scene, but I feel like we could have gotten a little bit more from FTR and.
I agree. But the little we got, as long as the FTR looked good, I don't care.
Yeah,
they needed to look good. That's all that fucking mattered.
This show was a A+.
Big time.
I can't think of anything wrong with this show. Why it's not an S rank is I don't think it like broke the scale. I've seen Double or Nothing, and I've seen Full Gear from last year. Those were like
a lot of people are saying this. I mean, this is an S rank show in the fact that there was a crowd there.
Yeah,
which is probably why people are saying it's the best show in Double or Nothing ever, but it really wasn't.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's understandable because
it's definitely better than 2020, but that doesn't really count.
Well, especially too because that was like the first show they did, well, first pay-per-view they did in the pandemic. Their hands were tied, so.
Yeah, so
you didn't like 2020s?
2020s was great, but I'll be honest with you, man. I just don't. I probably was looking at it like, yeah, this is great, but in reality, it's like the fact that there's no crowd kills it. So
I know.
I probably don't want to remember a fucking thing, a single fucking thing.
Yeah, I can't blame you. I don't either.
I don't think anybody wants to. So, honest to God, even if it was good, even if it was genuinely good, even Full Gear, I'm not going to count it. Just not going to count it.
I'm not gonna force you to.
There's no point. You literally could probably use that gear as a fucking write-off for wrestling, for anything.
I mean, I think the thing we talked about too. We haven't really talked. The thing that really sucked about 2020 for AEW, is if you remember last year, right before the pandemic, they finally hit a groove with these. They were having awesome shows. They were really starting to find their stride, and I feel like the pandemic it fucked everybody over, but especially them. One thing
they're coming back. They're gonna have a fucking sellout show in New York.
However, though, I know
fucking stadium, no less. By the way.
You're not going to like hearing this, but one thing that's good about the pandemic, and if AEW could survive the pandemic, it shows they can survive. Like, I feel like the pandemic really showed how that AEW really...
Their versatility, absolutely. Yeah. No one's going to deny them that. Their versatility.
No other wrestling company... they weren't even around a year. No other wrestling company that, just started out a year prior would have lasted, probably, in the pandemic.
Fuck no.
So yeah, we have one more thing to cover, so let's cover it. Pause. Okay, so we're just going to quickly go through what's been going on in AEW as of late. I'll just give a quick run through of it. So, they've continued the Inner Circle versus Pinnacle feud. They did a thing where the Inner Circle celebrated the victory, and they basically, each member of the Inner Circle that would feud with the Pinnacle called them out. So Jericho called out MJF. Santana and Ortiz called out FTR. Hager called out Wardlow for the cage fight. And Sammy Guevara called out...
They're going to do a lot of combination matches before they have their big blow-off at All Out. I mean, that's obvious.
Yeah.
Which they should. I mean,
absolutely.
There's so many combinations you can do with this. First off, you could do a Santana and Dax feud. You could do a Cash Wheeler Ortiz matchup.
Yeah.
You could do fucking Dax Howard and Sammy Guevara. That's a match I would love to see if they can fit it in somehow.
So then,
I would love to. There's so many matches you could do. I mean, they've already done the cage match. They're about to do Sammy versus MJF, which should have been the match they probably started with, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But fair enough. I mean, they're doing it now, so I'll take it.
So yeah, they did. But notice, by the way, I do want to point this out. each member of the Pinnacle accepted except MJF. He was done with Jericho and everything, which I think really was cool.
Yeah.
And it led to the Inner Circle trash in the limousine, and then it led to the cage fight. Jake Hager did win.
Cage fight. Since we're gonna probably skip around all the dynamites just because they kind of all blend in together because fuck, as I said, fuck the NBA. That cage thing was wild.
Yeah, that was awesome.
What the hell? I did not expect to see a MMA fight in a pro wrestling contest. Yeah. I remember they tried this once before in TNA, of course, in all places. I forget who was it, and I'm not talking about the Kurt Angle Joe fight. This was a totally different thing entirely. I don't remember exactly who it was, but they had like an MMA fight, right?
Yep.
And it sucked. I vividly remember it sucked, whoever it was. This was not sucky at all. Like, this was actually really well executed.
A lot of people might complain that Wardlow lost, but I don't really have an issue with it. I think they don't want to have one. They don't want to. It'd be bad for Hager's MMA career if he probably lost. If this was his first fight loss.
If he lost a rigged MMA fight, it would probably not look good.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. If he's been 3-0, he should probably stay. You should probably be 4-0 by their logic. So I mean,
yeah. Plus, it's not like Wardlow looked weak. I mean, they did say like no one can get out of this Hager submission unless you have the ropes, and since there's no rope breaks, there was no way for Wardlow to get out, so it's fine.
Right.
Exactly. And they got the heat, and he got his heat back at the end too. So.
Yeah. So it all worked out in the end.
And then they had an awesome banner of a video package with FTR and Santana and Ortiz that you have to go watch. That was awesome.
I've already seen it. I already saw it today. I rewatched it. That was great.
Well, so they've also continued the Jungle Boy, Kenny Omega. Well, they didn't really continue it. They kind of started it where Kenny Omega talked about how there's a conspiracy against him. They're trying to get the AEW World title off of him. And it led to Jungle Boy coming out. And they've just had an entertaining feud. They're making Jungle Boy look like the underdog that could win it. They had a backstage segment this week where Kenny Omega, because Jungle Boy got the best of him and he was wearing a nice suit, was in street clothes this time. It said, yeah, you don't have that inner anger that you can use against me. And then when he finally attacked him, Omega just ran off. I thought that was great. And he just beat the crap out of MT Nakazawa. Poor Nakazawa. So...
He used to be the oil man. Now is the IT man.
Yeah. I thought that was good, though. I like that. The Elite storyline still continuing where Eddie Kingston's now teaming up with Death Triangle.
We gotta talk about we have to talk about this. Because if you have watched any WWE in the last 10 years, okay? They forget that heels that turned babyface had problems with heels in the past.
Yep.
Or babyfaces in the past, or whatever the hell happened, okay?
Yep.
The last time they didn't do that was probably the DX reformation in 2006.
Damn.
Which shows you how long they have not given a fuck about long-term booking. It really shows.
Yeah.
But here, AEW recognized that there was history between Pac and Kingston that was not trustworthy with Kingston on Kingston's end. And they really told a great story of the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And Kingston worked. He worked with Pac. He was working with him and he said, listen, just trust me. And he even did spots with him like, look, we're a unit. Double dive. And Pac is like, and then they fucking dive. He worked to get Pac's trust. I like that they fucking did that detail. This is why I love AEW. They don't forget this shit. They don't.
Absolutely.
There are sometimes they do forget. There are instances where they do forget, like, the fact that, I don't know, QT Marshall was trying to have an affair with with Allie. even though he had a wife apparently. That's probably the only instance I could think of where they just said fuck that.
Another recent time is they just completely abandoned the Dark Order HFO feud and the Christian Kate. Well, I'm not gonna give as much flack with the
No. What do you mean the HFO thing? No, they're still they're still doing that feud kinda.
Not the past couple. Matt Hardy kind of moved on to Christian Cage as of late. They kind of haven't really.
Well, yeah, they moved on to Christian Cage recently, but I wouldn't say they're done with the HFO.
Yeah, that's true. But they did kind of move on from the Christian Cage Team Taz feud. But I think that's because Ricky Starks is probably getting better soon, so they can actually like do the breakup of Team Taz like they wanted to do. I think they had to. I think Ricky Starks' injury kind of fucked up their plans. So.
What was his injury? A neck injury? A slight neck injury?
Yeah, neck injury.
Yeah.
I don't even know if maybe he isn't close to being, but I feel like he's got to be close to getting ready because it's starting to break up Team Taz. So, but no, I really do like that though that they all remembering that Eddie Kingston had to work to get Pac's trust.
It's fucking. By the way, it's fucking wild because in reality, if I'm Team Taz. Team Taz should actually be turning face on Ricky.
Yeah.
Am I the only one that's noticing this? Like, Hook isn't the problem, really. He's just kind of guilty by association with Starks. And fucking Hobbs is just getting fucked.
Yeah.
Like, you got fucked, right? So, I mean... Shouldn't Starks be the one being turned on and it would have been justified?
Yeah, we'll talk about it now. So, yeah, Brian Cage is going babyface.
But it really should just be the rest of Team Taz and say, fuck Ricky Starks.
Yeah. Maybe that will happen.
I think I mean, you can make the argument that maybe Team Taz should turn and Brian Cage and the rest of Team Taz stay heel and Starks goes babyface.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
To swerve everybody, I think he would be a fucking great face.
We've seen him in face before. We've seen him as a baby face
before. He's fucking great. He's honestly fucking phenomenal on the microphone. He could carry himself good.
Absolutely.
And I'm not even kidding you. I would love, and I'm serious, I would love to see a program between MJF and Ricky Starks.
Oh, that'd be great.
That would be, dude, the mic work would be insanity.
Yeah.
Insanity.
But other things
how you have to do it, but get it done.
Other things that would happen is they'll continue in the Darby Allin Sting versus Scorpio versus Men of the Year feud. Basically, they challenged Darby Allin to find a tag team partner under the Sting. They basically questioned Darby Allin's success in AEW.
And it's like, fuck that, I'm going alone.
Oh, he shouldn't have done that. He lost.
He didn't lose. He didn't. He almost got it.
Yeah, he did. I love how
he almost didn't get it.
He handcuffed or like shackled like Ethan Page's legs together. I liked how he almost
great. That was a great spot.
Yeah.
Darby Allin made a fucking handicap match entertaining. Can we just give him props?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because handicap matches usually suck. He made that very entertaining.
And it wasn't the heels actually won, and I wonder if Darby, because Darby told Sting to stay home. Now Darby Allin's gonna be pissed. That like I said, now we're gonna get a Darby Allin Sting match at some point. They're slowly starting to build that up now. So,
I'm for it.
They're continuing the Nightmare Factory feud. QT Marshall got a pinfall victory over Cody, and he will not let us hear the end of it.
By the way, I love the addition of Braun Anderson or Brock Anderson.
Yeah, I like that. Then that's nothing else to say about it. So.
BA Brock Anderson.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're calling him now. Badass Brock Anderson.
Oh, we have a new signing now, by the way. You have a new sign. Andrade El Idolo is now with AEW.
Great get. I knew it was only a matter of time since Kenny and him are fighting for the title.
Triple A title, yeah.
This is a great get for AEW. Now I can't wait for their surprise.
Yeah.
Something tells me it's Thea Trinidad.
Yeah, it could be.
I don't know why, but something tells me it might be.
A lot of people are disappointed that his debut wasn't as big as they wanted it to be. I actually didn't mind his debut, Plus, he got to debut in front of a full capacity crowd. That's not disappointing. Like,
Not at all. Not at all. The crowd went nuts. And by the way, apparently Vicky and her clientele are going babyface.
Yeah, seems like
nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just gonna be a baby faces.
And then notice on his interview with JR, remember Vince wanted Andrade El Idolo to learn English. He cut most of the freaking interview in Spanish.
He sounded fucking better in Spanish.
Yep.
Wow. Oh my god. It's almost like if you just put a fucking mouthpiece like Vicky Guerrero in his fucking way. Oh my god, maybe it actually works. What a concept.
Yep. Women's division, they I don't really know like that they're doing Nyla Rose as Britt Baker's first feud. I'd rather somebody else. I'm sick of Nyla Rose in the title picture. Just sick of it. So that's all I have to say about it. It's the only criticism I have.
Quite frankly, I think Vicky should just dump fucking Nyla.
Yeah, at this point.
That partnership has just been a force from day one.
And they never they've never explained it. They
did a whole thing where Vicky slapped her, and that has not been followed up with since, and that she's just been relegated to dark. Now all of a sudden she's in the title picture again.
Yeah.
Like, does anybody care?
If you think about it, we found out more in 2 weeks.
This is probably going to be the turn. Next week is probably going to be the turn.
Yeah. By the way, if you think about
a tag match with her and Nyla.
By the way, if you think about it, they've done more to build up crap, I'm probably gonna get copyrighted now. Damn it.
What?
Well, I had Peacock open because I was watching something on WWE, and it just freaking played out of nowhere, and I just closed out of it. And since I have the screen closed,
fine. Who gives a shit? As long as it's not blocked worldwide, who cares?
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Anyhow, what I was saying, they did more to explain the partnership in like 3 weeks between Andrade and Vicky Guerrero than they ever did with Nyla Rose and Vicky Guerrero.
Yeah. I think it's just because they wanted Vicky to be on TV somehow, so it's like, fucking put her with Nyla. Even though Nyla can do fine speaking for herself,
Absolutely,
I never understood why Nyla needed Vicky. It made no fucking sense then. It makes no sense now.
Miro continues to be dominant. He had a great match with Evil Uno for the TNT title, and it looks like he's
going to talk about a guy who's gotten better on the fucking microphone, by the way. Holy shit.
Yeah, Miro. Yeah.
Fucking, I love him.
By the way, I think recently
Miro's this next generation's Kurt Angle, I'm telling you. You think I'm crazy, you watch. He already showed he can do comedy if he wants to. He can do serious if he wants to. He can fucking be funny. He can be serious. He can be fucking in between.
Yep.
He'll nail it out of the park every time. Miro.
He mentioned, by the way, he didn't mention her by name, but he did mention his hot wife. So she might. I think she's coming to AEW. She's coming. His hot wife.
His hot wife. Now his dick is getting bigger.
He really is.
Sorry, I had to. The joke was right there. I don't know why I went by Black Sun with it, but
you did say his insinuations Kurt Angle. You do remember that came out right after Jason Jordan was.
That's.
I think that's why you went. I think that's why you went.
That's why. That's exactly why I think. By the way, it's fucking funny. I don't know if you noticed, but the natural chemistry between Jordan and Angle is great. I don't know if you saw one of their watch-alongs. I actually somehow it got recommended to me, but I have WWE blocked on my YouTube. I'm not kidding. I'm kidding. I have them blocked. But,
I didn't even know you could block. I guess I knew. Oh wait, I did know. I did.
It's a pain in the ass. It's a pain in the ass, but you can block people if you want to. But I fucking watched it, and Jason. I think Jason became a fucking illegitimate son of Kurt Angle for real because they get along like a father and dad would.
Yeah,
it's actually fucking scary. It really is. It's actually weird, bro. They get along so good.
By the way, I also love how much of an ass Miro was because, of course, after Penelope Ford won a match, he comes out and just fucking being an ass saying
That was amazing. I was like, holy shit. I didn't think they were going to revisit it, especially this game, but there it was.
Yep.
Fucking hell, bro. Fucking, by the way, where the hell is Kevin?
Oh, he's actually injured.
Really?
Yeah, he's injured 6 months. He's out 6 months.
So that was their way of writing him off TV. Then. Okay.
I like. A lot of people may not agree with me because it's two WWE guys going at it. I like the Matt Hardy Christian Cage feud. I think it's good. Like,
it's actually really good.
Yeah.
WWE would have fucked this up day one in.
I think they did. And then they feud for like a minute, and then that was it. Like,
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
Probably.
Have you been watching Dark lately?
AEW Dark?
Yeah, or one of the I think AEW Double. Yeah.
Not really. I haven't really kept up to date with it. I probably should just for the commentary that has.
Joey Janela might be going heel now. They're teasing a split between him and Sonny Kiss, which
they're still doing that.
Oh, I thought that was a new thing.
No.
Oh,
been going on for months.
I think they're definitely doing it more so.
Why do you think Janela was wrestling heel against Paige?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it'd be good for him to go heel because he needs a character.
I think he needs to fucking go away. I'm sorry. I tried with Janela, but he's just a fucking waste of space and financial fucking. Just cut him from the roster at this point.
I mean, like, I don't want anyone to like lose their job. Like,
he's got nothing to offer though. Ever since Penelope broke up with this sorry ass dude, he's gotten worse.
I don't know.
And that's a fucking shoot. I've seen it. I've literally seen AEW from start to finish.
Yeah.
All the way through. He's done nothing but get worse. He's gotten more out of shape. And he looks like he's drunk more beer.
But I want to say, too, like, I remember, too, because I just recently saw this, like, Miro, remember that Miro's debut? I honestly think, like, everybody was bad, but he was probably the worst in that match.
Wait, who?
Joey Janela in Miro's debut, I think, was also, like, that was probably the worst he's looked.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Everybody looked bad.
How about the fact that he wears a fucking singlet now that looks awful?
Yeah.
Awful. He just looks so shit. I remember when he first came into AEW when he was fighting Moxley. I'm like, well, this guy is a different character. I like how this guy looks. I like how this guy wrestles. I remember his match with Omega was fucking great too.
Yep.
Holy shit. We're a far century away from that now. It's literally the Cassius Ohno problem all over again with Janela.
And Cassius Ohno had a bit more of an excuse than Joey Janela did.
Yeah, it did. Like, he actually had a fucking ailment.
Yeah.
Joey Janela is just a lazy prick.
Yeah.
I mean, that's obvious. This time, it is a case of laziness. You know, this is just awful. Like, you need to get rid of him. Like, there's no point in doing the Sonny Kiss turn, like, him turning on Sonny Kiss. Like, it ain't worth it. It just ain't worth it.
What could he do to make you change your mind on him? If you had to say,
I don't know. Look like he did in 2019.
So he's got a lot of work.
God's honest truth.
He's got a lot of
fucking
work
way to go. Yeah, he does. Hey, fucking man to that. By the way, he looks like he's fucking losing hair. It's so nappy, it's retarded. Yeah. Jesus Christ, dude. Looks like it's about to fall off his head.
All right, so that's AEW. I'll just do my Dark recommendations real quick. I won't do another cut. I'll just do it real quick. From episode 8, I would recommend watching Miro versus Will all day, Zach Clayton versus 10, Orange Cassidy versus VSK, Hugh Rose versus FTR, Chaos Project versus Austin and Colton Gunn, and Colt Cabana and 5 versus The Blade and Matt Hardy. From episode 9, which they fucked up the title and actually put episode 8. I don't know how that happened. I don't know how that went through. A lot of matches I recommend.
Episode 8, fuck it.
Yeah. There's a lot of matches on episode 9 that's 8 also. I would recommend watching David Ali versus Lee Johnson, Eddie Kingston versus VSK, Fuego del Sol and Baron Black versus Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. Watch the showcase with Danny Limelight. Watch Thunder Rosa versus Renee Michelle. Watch Eddie Kingston's backstage segment. And this is when he cut a promo on the Bucks because they were still doing that feud. Watch Danny Jordan versus Layla Hirsch. Marco Stunt and Jungle Boy versus Chaos Project. And John Moxley versus Danny Limelight. And Isaiah Cassidy versus Alex Reynolds. From the May 17th episode, watch Adrian Alanis versus Jungle Boy. Dustin Rhodes versus Aaron Solo. Danny Limelight and Royce Isaacs versus John Moxley and Eddie Kingston. Lance Archer versus Bear Bronson. Showcase with Ryan Nemeth. Kylan Kin versus The Bunny. Baron Black versus QT Marshall. Joey Janela versus Daniel Garcia. Mainly because of Daniel Garcia carried him to a great match. Also watch Private Party versus Alex Reynolds in 5. And Matt Sydal versus Brian Cage. And then for the May 24th episode, watch Robo versus QT Marshall. Ashley Dombras versus Thunder Rosa. The Gun Club video package where it went through like the history of how they became a team and stuff. That's actually very good. Alex Reynolds versus Ethan Page. Penta El Zero Miedo versus Mike Sydal, sorry. 5 versus Scorpio Sky. Matt Hardy versus Fuego del Sol, sorry. Ren Narita versus Royce Isaacs. And Rocky Romero actually made an appearance that week, and he fought JD Drake, so definitely check that out if you get a chance.
Ooh.
On the 24th episode, Jungle Boy versus Adrian Alanis. Dustin Rhodes versus...
Wait, isn't Rocky Romero part of Ring of Honor still?
New Japan. He must have been there for like a one.
But he's also part of but he's also part of Ring of Honor. I've seen him there.
I don't know what's going on then.
Shout out there.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay. So then the May 31st episode, I recommend watching The Acclaim versus Brent and Brandon Tate.
What?
Yeah, Brent and Brandon Tate. Tate. That was their last names. Chaos Project versus the Varsity.
You can't just hit me with that. That's fucking 12:39, and then expect me to get over that.
I don't know what you want me to do. I have to continue. Chris Chaos versus the Varsity Blondes. No, it's not. I said Chaos Project. I said Chris Chaos for some reason. Big Swole and Red. Huh?
That would have been a great name.
Yeah. Big Swole and Red Velvet versus Nyla Rose and the Bunny. Penta El Zero Mero versus Jack Evans. And JD Drake versus Jungle Boy. From episode 14, which is the most recent one. Wardlow versus Jason Hotch. Angelico versus Mike Sydal. Penta El Zero Miro and Eddie Kingston versus Iraq Canyon and Kevin Blackwood. And Scorpio Sky versus Alex Reynolds. And then on Dark, just regular old Dark, on episode 88, I would recommend watching Milk Chocolate versus John Moxley and Eddie Kingston. What else?
That has to be a Mark Henry choice, bro. Milk Chocolate. Who the fuck's Milk Chocolate?
Marty Cascus versus Jungle Boy. JD Drake versus
Marty Cascus.
This is the Moth from Lucha Underground season 1. That's his real name. JD Drake versus 10. The Acclaim versus Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela. Bear Bronson versus Brian Cage and Powerhouse Hobb versus Mike Sydal. From episode 89, Lee Johnson versus Fuego del Sol. The Acclaim's music video. This was when they did it. This was building up to the match between them and Moxley and Eddie Kingston. Nice. Sonny Kiss versus Serpentico. Diamante versus Chris Statlander. And that's it. Wasn't a lot of matches that episode. I recommend. Then from episode 90, I recommend 10 versus Dylan McQueen. Big Swollen Kylan Kin versus the Body of Maddie Winkowski. Dante Martin versus Jason Hotch. Joey Janela versus Bear Bronson. Actually, no, I didn't. What?
Joey Janela versus Bear Bronson?
Yeah, well, Bear Bronson's doing singles because his partner's hurt right now. So
must have been during that fucking sponsored match he got hurt.
Yep. Ryzen versus Angelico. And Brian Cage versus Sonny Kiss. Then episode 91. The whole show because that was the one with the crowd. And then episode 90. I didn't take notes on 92. I forgot. So I can't recommend any matches. Danny Limelight versus Ethan Page. Dante Mountain versus Sonny Kiss. And 5 and Cole Cabana versus the Acclaim and Chaos Project versus the Gun Club. So those are all the dark matches I'd recommend you watch. And so I want you to watch every second of every match and give like a full study on it. So
I can't wait to not see
it. And then one final thing, I want to make an announcement. We might make a video since the pandemic's pretty much going to be over when they tour again, because obviously AEW is probably not going to keep a lot of these guys around. Of who AEW out of like the enhancement talent they've been putting in should sign. Like maybe like make that an aftershock corner extra because
corner extra, yeah.
So,
by the way, I'm recommending just for our sake, we should probably make those also once a month.
Okay.
Just saying, it would probably be easy. By the way, thanks. Now I have to fucking dig up that fucking old Aftershock corner logo you had.
Yep. All right, pause.
Did you write down the time?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Bye. Nah, let's just. Can we just end it right there? Bye. See ya.
Do it. It's done.
Bye.
Fuck it. Bye.